Exactly. So we are back, and I have Joey with me.
Hey, yo.
I got Chris Pinkerton with me.
If you're nasty.
Somehow we did it 2 weeks in a row.
Don't get used to it, but it's a miracle.
So I have an idea of what I'm doing for Skullstis next year.
Okay.
So it's going to be a 4-day event.
Friday through Monday? Thursday through Sunday.
Thursday through Sunday. Now, it ranges. It's not like 24 hours all day. Thursday and Friday are going to be kind of a pre-party call, kind of lovingly referred to as DMH-table.
Okay. You should call it the pre-coming party.
I'm going to come. I'm going to come.
I'm going to pre-cum.
Don't come. I'm going to come. I love that shit. I should make that a button.
I'm coming.
It's like, don't say, I forget it was Donald Trump or somebody. They like, don't come. Yeah, I'm going to come. Anyway, so the first 2 days are going to be kind of like workshop days almost. Like sitting together, brainstorming, coming up with ideas, recording podcasts, talking shit, coming up with video, just like, making content, having fun, creating ideas, having dinner at night, and then whatever. And then Saturday at noon to Sunday at noon is Skullstis.
Wow. And your wife's on board with it?
Yes.
That's bless her heart.
Yes, because for her, it's actually more controllable because she can...
It's not people coming and going the whole time.
She knows the number of people here Thursday, Friday, rough idea Saturday.
Yeah. That could be fun.
Yeah, I think it could be fun. Like I'm even down like whiteboard some shit, get somebody like, what do we want to do? What are some shit we'd like to do? And let's try to do some shit.
Circle jerk.
That you could mention that in our brainstorm.
I'll run it.
There's a veto option.
I'm a good pivot man.
I'm like, just compliment each other, Joey. And then the other thing I wanted to talk is we are recording this. This has come out afterwards, of course, but we are recording this the Friday before Father's Day. And I was going to ask Chris Pinkerton if you had anything planned for Father's Day. Question number one, and two, if you had a Father's Day that you like. Wow, what a fucking Father's Day.
So we don't. I told them I wanted to. So
goddamn peace and quiet.
I want to do. I want to do a glizzy gobbler night. We're gonna grill hot dogs for Father's Day because it's easy and a lot of work for anybody. No, nothing really. I mean, nothing real memorable. I mean, nothing stands out to me. I know my family loves me, and well, I think they do.
Yeah.
Just assume.
They love
you feel better.
They love my money at least. So, what about you?
So I don't have a Father's Day that I necessarily remember as being
memorable.
But we are, at least they're not going to be going on vacation with other people, so that's always nice.
Oh, yeah. That's a memorable one.
That's memorable.
That's a memorable one.
That was memorable.
When you're by yourself when everyone's at the beach.
Dude.
You could have gone.
That wasn't easy to get over. And don't think I didn't try. Anyway, so I am planning, I'm doing a Bobby Boogie bonus bop, as opposed to a Bobby Boogie birthday bonus bop.
Okay.
And just to catch up on drill, I haven't done a drill episode in a year.
Is it still around?
And it's slowed way down. So like
bop, bop.
It shouldn't be that's that funky chopper sound. It shouldn't be an issue to cover everything within the last year that I'm interested in 1 2-hour show.
Are we mentioning the Turkish scene at all?
Russia
Okay.
for sure. Ukraine for sure. Ukraine's got a bigger, as you might imagine. With oppression comes true.
Did you see that video of someone they had stolen a Russian tank and put a sound system on it, or just driving it down the main road, blasting techno music? It was great.
Love it.
What if war was like that? You just played like techno music.
And post-apocalyptic war is like after the nukes, and then we're still fighting. That's what it's going to be like.
Turn on the techno.
So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to probably have pizza for dinner, and then for lunch, I believe Laura's making me homemade pretzels with crab dip over top, which is one of my favorites.
Have to with anything.
Yeah, but this is like a king among men type of. You know what I mean? It's one of it is my favorite crab thing that she does.
Well, I was about to say, I said this before and I'll say it again, Laura's crab dip is my favorite crab creation, period.
Crab creation.
Of any crab related food I've had in Maryland or every other state that has Maryland crab cakes. I just always shiver a little bit when I see them I'm in New Mexico and they have Maryland crab cakes.
Well, you know what's funny? I had like shrimp tacos and Arizona.
Yeah.
And I was like, I put on my Facebook or somewhere. I was like, nah, they're fine. And somebody commented, they were like, really, just fine. Shrimp tacos from a landlocked state. Really? And it dawned on me. I was like, I've never had to think about that.
I honestly don't eat a lot of seafood unless I'm near the
By
water.
the sea?
Like I didn't even like in Alabama having seafood that often.
You all have water, don't you?
Yeah, but that little bitty tip.
It's
at
that
the
little,
end.
yeah, it's a little-
it's
just the
little,
tip.
it's like a little infected
Yeah.
tip that the beach the drunks go to party.
Yeah, I've never it's just never been something I've considered. Yeah, it's just always been seafood has always been such a part of my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we live here with all the seafood.
Yeah. So I was like, that's probably why. That's probably why. Anyway, so anyway, we just did a top 5 transformation moments. So that was one video that's been like highly, highly, highly requested.
I don't know what your common audience asks for.
So I've
on
been,
your channel,
but it's also like it's like kind of a heavier one because you really got to think about. So I've been kind of reluctant to do it, but I'm glad that we did it. I think that people will really enjoy it.
Joey, your turn's next, by the way.
is it?
Yeah.
I didn't do that. I thought
You did struggle meals.
so it's mine.
on you.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
I like how you call me out when it's your turn.
But speaking of calling Joey out, you got your coffee first,
I did.
Christopher. Joey, how was your nerd week?
Pretty good. I have some stuff from before that.
You're like, it's bullshit. Thank you cards.
They're dumb. Cards in general, fuck them.
Sympathy. That's something else. That's bullshit.
Sympathy is not bullshit, but buying a card to show your sympathy is the least you can do. It's less than the least you can do. You could do a little bit more than buy a pre-made card and throw $1 in it.
I'd prefer it over a phone call.
Yeah.
Me, like, look, yeah, I'm fine. Please.
How about text?
I don't mind getting it. I don't mind getting a card.
I prefer it over a text.
Card is just more recycling.
Yeah,
it's fine.
but I don't have to reply.
You don't give the thumbs up.
I wish they could make a thumbs in the middle.
Oh yeah, just
Can you? What if we make a service where? Do you need to thank someone for thank you cards? Give us your address or their address in $6, and we'll mail them a thumbs up.
I actually I was kind of like, fuck. You do something like on social media and you get a response and you're like, God damn it, not the response I'm looking for.
Yep. Yep.
So like I told you, I lost a couple of people that were, close to me, but part of my life for the past 17 years.
Yeah.
And, and I value them. And this lady in particular, like I was like her favorite. Like she loved me, Miss Patty, God bless her. And so I put up a Facebook post the other night because it was like the end of it. It was like the end of the funeral. It was like, all right, pin in it. And I just was like, hey, R.I.P. Miss Patty, R.I.P. to Ray, these 2 people that I lost recently, or that that we all lost. And I got all these like my condolences, so sorry for you. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it just to show that I'm thinking of them. Like there's plenty of people.
Just turn off your comments and stuff.
I was gonna say, can you turn off
Can you do
comments?
that?
Yep.
On Facebook?
You can do it on YouTube. I don't know if you can do it on Facebook.
But can you do it for
Absolutely.
just one post?
I think you can.
Okay, but anyway, it was like I was like no, I just wanted to let their families and everybody know that I'm thinking of them, and I don't want. I feel guilty almost. Like there's so many people that were so much closer to them. I don't want people to think that I'm like I'm mourning their loss. I miss them, but like I don't want people to think that I'm not okay or I need a hug or some shit. Like you know what I mean? Because I'm good.
Yeah.
And there's people that were far closer. Daughters, sons, grandsons now, wives, husbands. Or actually not husbands, but wives that were closer. That I almost feel guilty. Like with all
you're farther away, and
yeah,
you don't want to.
Yeah. So anyway,
I
mean,
it looks like I'm wrong. Sorry, you can't turn them off.
Okay.
That's the thing
on a
about-
post. You can in like a group or whatever. I would know that for sure.
I've really enjoyed not posting anything other than pictures on Instagram on social media. I don't miss posting on Facebook. I used to, but now it's like weird things like that. It's the weird.
well, mine is like the right
Social-
tool. Mine's like the right tool for the right job. So like if I have like a picture of me and my family or me and my kids and I want to share it, like I want people to see how they're, we're all we're having a great time or whatever, just even document it, that would go to Facebook.
Okay.
Because like Skullface is on Instagram. Bobby is not on Instagram.
I see.
Know.
Let's see. From like before vacation, I finished. There's like 2 Korean shows and 1 Japanese show I watched. Chung Sung's Creek.
And they all walked into a bar.
unlikely. Not on purpose anyway. Chung Sung's Creature, I finished it. It was season 2 is going to come out soon. The ending is wild. I mean, the end is fine, but the post-credit scene. So this happens in like World War II, I think, around World War II, when Japan was occupying this part of Korea.
Okay.
And then they were doing human experiments, and then there was a monster in the story, but the monster is not like the major point of the story.
Okay.
But it's integral. It's more about the people there, and then the struggles with oppression and shit. But like the season ends, the story is mostly is complete, and then like the post-credit scene is like modern day, and it's like, how is it connected? So I'm looking forward to how they're going to connect that to now, but with the same actor.
Yeah.
Like the same main actor for this World War II show is the same actor who's playing, I guess, the main in the new series. I'm not sure if he's some kind of immortal or something, or is it his descendant. But I like. There's only 9 episodes. Okay. Episode 7 kind of dragged, and then 8 and 9 picked up again. I enjoyed it. If you like,
What's it called?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
so in the show, I think they call it a Chosen.
Okay.
Right? But it's spelled like Gyeongseong. And if you were to look it up, it's like Gyeong on Netflix. But I think it's a good show.
Okay.
I would watch it. I would recommend to watch if you like watching TV shows.
Speaking of Netflix, I have a buddy right now that I'm spending more time with, just as fate would have it, and he makes him a point always to say that he doesn't have a Facebook.
Oh, just like you with Netflix.
So now I always counter it with, and I don't have a Netflix, so I guess it's just always like tit for tat. It's a pretty fun little game.
Spoomers hanging out.
That's it.
No, actually, no. It's Boomer to have a Facebook. To be fair, I feel like
actually Boomer to have a Netflix too.
Yeah. The other Korean show I just finished, it's called Sweet Home. It's another like monster show.
Turn it up.
Big wheels keep on turning. I have a suggestion for the next one. I'll tell you later.
I also enjoyed this show quite a bit. It's, again, human drama with monsters, right? So it's not like a zombie outbreak. So people are starting to turn into monsters randomly into different shapes and size of monster, seemingly having something to do with their personality. And it's not contagious. They don't know what's going on, and they're extremely powerful. And like the world is almost in ruins right now because of all these people turning into creatures. And anyone can turn into a creature at any moment. And you follow these people at first season in this apartment, the few survivors who are living barricaded with monsters around them, and then some of them are showing symptoms of they might be turning into monsters, and then the repercussions of a group dealing with that kind of stuff. And it expands to they have to leave the apartments. Now in season 2 in the greater world, you find out there's remnants of government and military organization trying to keep order and study this thing, and then how ethical that is when they do human experiments and stuff, or do experiments on monsters. They find out not all monsters are malicious or monstrous. Like some are, they turn into monsters, but they seem to be benign, but they're getting treated the same.
More of a Pete's Dragon than House of Dragons.
Yes, or Flight of Dragons.
Well, Flight of Dragons has both a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
That's what I'm saying. It's like Flight of Dragons, where like, well, but you understand when people are like, well, if you say a monster, you better shoot it because it's going to kill a bunch of people, and then but have the God's eye view, knowing that this creature isn't bad, you feel bad for it. But it's like more dilemmas like that I quite often enjoy. And then some people, post-apocalyptic becomes the classic post-apocalyptic raiders. And they're more monstrous. But season 3 is coming out soon, I think this year.
And what's this one called again?
Sweet Home.
Sweet Home, that's right.
I think I've heard of that.
It's good. It's based on a web comic. That's on Netflix. Most of these are on Netflix, unfortunately for you. Not that you would watch them anyway. You don't like TV.
But I do give a fair amount of shit a shot.
Like Coruscant Nights.
From like Coruscant Nights.
Yeah, I mean, both of these shows I imagine you could enjoy. This third one, probably not your style.
Hey, who knows what I might get for Christmas?
Hey,
Christmas.
Yeah, the audiobooks to Coruscant Nights.
What if you got the Netflix subscription for Father's Day? How disappointed would you be?
Oh my God. I'm hoping that I kind of get this SH Figuarts ring figure, which I've been wanting forever.
Ring?
Yeah, like the girl that comes out of the TV.
Oh, does it come with the TV?
Sadako.
No, I think so.
Oh, that's
She has a
awesome. I haven't
name.
seen that.
It's old. It's like a latex piece. Like, I can pick it
Is
up
it-
if I want. It just seems like a nuisance.
Yeah.
The Japanese one or the American one?
American.
American is Samara. Japanese one is Sadako.
Okay, Samara for sure.
Casual.
To be fair, I think as a series overall, at the end, it shakes out. I think the American one's better.
Really?
I've heard that from a lot of people.
And even Rings, which is like the last one that came out, which is I think on the fence, people are more not sure they like. I enjoyed it. It's like what happens when this curse that exists on videotape, and we don't videotape anymore. Hey,
Elliot.
it's one of those ESL things that and coconut,
Coconut.
coconut casino and video. I can't say those fucking words right.
I'll tell you who struggles, that Asian dude in Acolyte saying children. You can tell he gives that motherfucker his all. He gives that motherfucker
I
his
haven't
all.
seen it. I'm looking forward to not.
for the children.
Children.
Hey, that makes him sound alien.
Yeah, I mean, he's giving it. He's getting. And I heard he learned English just for that role,
So yeah, I don't think
which I do respect.
Yeah, because he was in Squid Game.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Children. I'm gonna get it on the soundboard.
Fucking last of the series I finished is Alice in Borderlands.
Kelly watched that and really liked it.
Yeah, there's 2 seasons so far. The ending of season 2 is actually the ending of the manga. So they're gonna make a season 3
Oh boy.
out of original material.
Well,
I'm gonna watch it
pretty much like
and
every.
see how that goes.
Isn't that pretty much everything that's converted from a manga? If they want to make more, then they just. Or they have to make filler, or they have to.
Yeah, exactly. They make filler and then catch up with the manga later, or remake the whole series when the manga finishes, or the manga's done. They're just adding more shit for whatever reason. I mean, there's room to grow.
Well, good.
But yeah,
More room in that universe to play.
there is. But like, I wish I liked the main character more. I always have a problem nowadays with like, I feel like a lot of protagonists, the main protagonists anyway, aren't likable to me.
You've said that. You have.
Yeah,
you've
and
been
I have a
consistent.
problem.
with
Like
that.
I like the world, I like the story, and it's like I want to follow somebody else in this world. You know, but yeah, it's kind of a death game kind of thing. People get transported to another world, they don't know how, and they have to survive. But in order to survive, they have to play these games, and usually people have to die. And again, morals and dilemmas come into issue, and then factions of people and how people behave as a mob and as like dictatorship. I'm just fascinated with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I watched Late Night with the Devil, the movie.
Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I mean,
You ever see The Devil Wears Prada?
no,
It's good.
That is one of
That's
my
with
favorite.
Glenn Close
And Anne Hathaway.
and Anne
It's
Hathaway.
good.
It's fantastic. It's like 101 Dalmatians with no dogs.
There's this.
That's the
there's
dog
this-
is the best part.
I know.
There's this bit of dialogue between those two where they basically make the strongest point of fashion being absolutely of no value and simultaneously of fashion being of absolute value, all in the same piece of dialogue. That's like, fuck, that's amazing. Like, it's just extremely well written in that way.
Someone written from someone who really likes fashion, I assume.
Yeah, well, it was just like somebody having the conversation of like, I'm not doing it justice and I'm doing my best here, but somebody saying like, look, on one hand, everything is overpriced and it's for the name and it's this and that and all of that shit and blah, blah, blah. And it means nothing. You know, there's people fighting wars. There's people doing this. There's people, you know, like that means something. And they're like, and on the other hand, if it wasn't for this person doing that, and then that trickling down to that trickling down to that, to Target making a version so that you could afford it for $12.99, you wouldn't be wearing that shirt in the first place.
Exactly.
And it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yep.
But we still have to wear button-ups and ties for whatever reason.
Yeah,
Because
I
of
guess
fashion.
Right tool for right job. I don't know if that's fashion.
That's what tool? I'm not going to into it because I get heated. I don't
I mean, it's human nature. Like if I walk in looking like a bum and you're going to
But
hire.
that's only by programming.
I mean, okay.
I don't know.
I don't even know. I don't know.
If you walk in with a suit and tie to a country that doesn't wear suit and ties, you're not going to look like you're especially professional or well.
No, but I do think that even if you walked into a place with a suit and tie versus somebody that looked like they were wearing in rags, like literal
Well,
rags.
that's different. Well, that's the apples and oranges. We're talking about clean clothes. Like, you know.
No, I'm not talking about clean clothes. I'm talking about somebody put together versus not put together. And I'm giving an extreme of both. Right. So I don't think the guy necessarily in the suit and tie is any better than the guy with the polo and a pair of slacks or whatever tucked in. Like, you can look professional wearing both. But
I don't even know what looking professional means.
It means pride in your appearance.
But that's also subjective.
So, you know, when
some people are really proud of the really shitty tattoos, man.
No, that's not. That's
I mean,
not
that's
what
part of the appearance, though, right?
Hang on, I
No.
think we're getting off.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
You said someone used the word professional, and I'll give you an example. I mean, most of the time, what I'm like, I have on basketball shorts and a t-shirt. That's pretty much what I wear every day. Mm-hmm. Except when I have to go meet customers or do meetings, and I wear slacks and a button-up shirt in the long or a polo and a sport coat.
That's because of social expectations.
That's my job. That's my expectation of my job.
I'm talking about objectively speaking.
Just like going out.
I mean, like, what makes you special? Why do you have to wear buttons other than social expectations?
I don't think it's a matter of buttons, but I think that
To me, it is. Matter of buttons and wear ties.
Okay, so to me, it's a matter of whether or not a person cares. If you don't care about how you look, then why are you going to care about my case?
But
if I hire you now to be a pharmacist, but part of that job of being a pharmacist is cleaning the counter. Okay, if I can't trust you to clean the counter, how can I trust you to bag up the right amount of pills?
Yeah, but what I'm wearing? If what I'm wearing is clean and fitted, not around my ass or nothing. If I'm wearing fucking shorts that fit, socks and shoes, fucking a shirt and sanitary, like what makes?
Give me that. I'm down to go to that. Give me the shirt.
That's what I'm saying.
But there's a difference between like a beater and hooping shorts.
No.
Okay,
What's the difference between a fitted t-shirt and a button-up shirt? What is the difference between a fitted shirt and a polo collared shirt? What does a collar do?
I just use that exact example as something that is professional.
No, but what is the collar have anything to do with professionalism?
Look, I don't know, but I'll tell you when I'm sitting at my desk working in a t-shirt and shorts, and I have to get on a web call, I have a stack of polo shirts right next to me.
That's what I'm talking about. That's social conditioning. That's
because his t-shirts are not I'm imagining that you're wearing like crash box like a shirt you're wearing now. That's not the same as like a fitted nice t-shirt. I agree with you there.
But also, like, are people's polos and suits fitted? They're not.
No,
they
and my
like
polos,
but they don't.
My polos that I'm wearing, they were 5 for $35 on Amazon.
Right, that's
in
what I'm
5
saying.
different colors.
What does the collar? Why does the collar make you better?
I'm not saying a collar does.
But the society's telling me that because you have to wear a collar.
I mean,
I don't have to do that. I choose to do that because I feel it looks more
some places,
professional.
just like the other day at work, I didn't say anything because I'm not the manager, but like this girl came in, new girl, clean, wearing the branded logo shirt that we're given, and jeans. And then she was told, like, next time don't come in jeans, you have to wear slacks. And in my mind, it's like, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, that I'm with you on. I'm talking about the general appearance of somebody.
Yeah,
the appearance of somebody does matter.
No, the appearance of someone being put together.
That's
but
my
the specific articles of clothing.
Yeah,
Well, if it's written in a dress code that you have to wear this, hang on. But if it's,
I understand you have to follow the rules. I understand you have to follow the rules, but
consequences.
I'm not gonna. Rules don't get changed unless somebody fucking fights against them.
Right.
You know, things are put in place just to control people.
I will tell
for
you,
whatever reason.
Like in my job, I'm involved in corporate boardroom nonsense, and so is my boss and my boss's boss. Nobody wears a tie anymore. I mean, sport coat, slacks. It's just it's
hot. Why are people wearing jackets in the summer? It's fucking 90 degrees outside. People wearing jackets. I don't fucking understand it.
I mean, he's wearing a hoodie right now, and it's
he's cold in here.
Yeah, I guess. If you went for a walk, would you take that off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, being made to wear a jacket in the dead of summer outside, or doing work that requires physical activity, forced to wear clothes that are not functional. Belts and slacks are not functional to physical activity. Like me having
belts can be.
Belts can be, but like
but where else are you going to put your cell phone holster?
Cell phone holsters. Oh my God. That threw me.
It's a utility belt at that point, right? If you have one pouch with a phone in it, you have a utility belt, and then you're just Batman.
Hey, that cell phone holster threw me for a loop.
Oh, good talk. Good talk.
But anyway, I told you I get heated about like stuff like that. I don't know why I get so mad about. I hate being told that things are done the way they are just because they're done the way they are. I fucking can't stand that shit. Anyway, Late with the Devil on HBO.
Say again?
Late Night with the Devil.
Late Night. I thought you said Melee. Late Night. Okay.
Melee at night. That's what you watch.
Yeah, I do every night. Almost.
Yes, almost every night. That's a horror movie. that was like I think part of the problem is I got hyped up. I try not to let people hype me up on things for a reason.
Yeah,
So I waited for a while to watch it, a few weeks.
I never
Everyone
heard
say,
of it.
"Oh, there's a great horror movie." I watch it. It's fine.
We're not in the scene, Bobby.
I never even heard of it.
We're not in the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Everyone
Is this a Dante and Phil kind of horror movie? Is it like that?
And they like it, but like it's not just them. It's people in general saying it's a good horror movie, and I think it's fine. It's good. And like B minus, B maybe. No. But like it was sold to me as an A. But yeah, watched Godzilla -1.
That's on HBO.
It's on Netflix.
Late Night with the Devil.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, let me make a note of that.
And it's pretty short. It's only an hour and a half.
Okay.
And Godzilla -1 was really good. And yes. Problem with-
Overhyped?
No,
Okay,
it's good.
Because that's a hyped movie.
No, it's very good, especially when you know like how small of a team and the budget they have versus like a Marvel movie. They had like I think 35 guys on the VFX team, and the effects are great.
35. Wow.
That's something. It's a small number.
No, I know.
It's
That's
not
like a
150.
tiny amount.
But that it shows why you can't have like Godzilla and monster movies taken so seriously. They become like Godzilla vs Kong, where it's just like a fuckfest off visuals,
hey.
fun visual fuckfest, but like not to be taken as serious cinema, because this. I don't know what to expect going into it. I know it's a Godzilla movie. I know it's well received,
And that he's not in it much. Because we had that conversation here.
Yeah, so that's part of it. He's the antagonist. He's a fucking monster, and you're following protagonist. You're following the human story and how they have to deal with this very realistic threat of a monster. And it's a great story. And I give it I get A.
Okay.
Maybe A. It's close to an A plus. They're I wouldn't say it's a fault that it's too happy of an ending. Because it's not necessary. Like there's a lot of tragedy in the movie, but there are things that are like that seems a little ham-fisted at the end. I won't give it away.
In order to put a button on it, like a happy button, like
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But overall, at least an A to me. So I don't think you can have. We haven't been able to have monster movies where the monster is the protagonist main.
where the monster is the protagonist.
The main protagonist, where you follow the monster from the monster's perspective.
Okay.
And it's a critical success, right? Because we have like Kong, we have other Godzilla movies, but in general they follow the people, and if you follow the monster, it become Kong versus Godzilla, and it's just a monster fuckfest,
Right.
Yes.
So like we're talking about
What's the
being
cleanup after a monster fuck fest? Do they bring our own towels?
I don't know.
there were a lot of eggs in
Hope
that,
it's
and
industrial.
end of the Matthew Broderick
Broderick one.
Yeah, there's a lot of eggs.
I've never seen that movie.
And they had like they look very close to Yoshi pop out of it from
Yes,
the Mario Brothers
and
movie.
it came out to be the cartoon. But you can do that with Transformers because the Transformers are people, but these monsters are not sentient. Well, they're not sentient.
They can't communicate.
They can't communicate. But I quite enjoyed it. I don't think it was overhyped.
Is that where Mon Mothra is too?
My Mothra, I think it's in the ocean. I don't know. My Mothra hasn't showed up yet. And the confusion part is I don't know which Godzilla universe goes to which. This is the only thing I assume because this seems like an origin story. Okay. Not an origin story, first appearance story.
Okay.
I don't think it's related to any of the other
No, it's not.
Godzilla
It's not.
that's come out.
It's not.
Okay, I want more of this.
Okay.
Because at the end, obviously, there seems to be more
Room.
for Godzilla to come back, at least. Or more Godzillas, who knows? But I enjoyed it. And then lastly, back on the One Piece grind, in episode 1030 something. So everything will probably be caught up by maybe next week to the current, which is like 1100, something like that. Yeah. But also that in the story brought a moral question.
Okay.
You know how we in X-Force we say, do you go back in time to kill Apocalypse?
Right.
You go back in time to kill Hitler,
right?
That's the question. Do you kill baby Hitler or not? You're killing a baby.
Are you asking me?
No,
Or you-
in
okay.
general.
Yeah.
Like, so like a lot of people have an answer, but usually they're not the ones to do it. It's like somebody should kill that baby, but I'm not.
Well,
gonna kill
just
that
like
baby.
in X-Force.
Yeah.
Exactly. So somebody's got to kill the baby. So this is similar but different.
Okay.
So you have some kind of war criminal, some kind of monster like Hitler or dictator or something, right? They got caught. They're guilty, obviously. Usually they'd be trialed, probably put away for life, or even executed, right? but like during the capture, maybe they bumped their head or something, and they became amnesiac. Right? They really, honest to goodness, they have no idea. This is a blank person. They have no idea what they've done. What do you do with that person?
What's the crime?
Anything.
Let's say
it's Hitler. Let's say
how old's Hitler when we're approaching? Let's say Hitler's 5 years old. Why don't we just kidnap Hitler and take him to America?
Right, but
instead of killing him.
This is what to go back in time question. This is a different one. This is at the end.
This is
at the end at the war. What instead of
Hitler doesn't shoot himself, you capture Hitler.
Oh, okay.
Right? And then while transporting him to an international prison where he's going to spend the rest of his life, he bumps his head and has amnesia.
Oh,
he botches shooting himself in the head, and now he's just fucking a blank.
Yeah, that's even better.
So you put him in a cell.
But the bloody bullet wasn't. Am I right?
You pry his eyes open and you put the book of Boba Fett, especially the episodes with the scooters, on loop. He'll figure it out.
But that's the question: Do you punish this now blank person?
Yeah, I guess
it's just the body, right? The soul is not there technically until the memory comes back.
Yeah,
this being right now has not committed any crimes.
It depends on how many killers are in the room. It really does.
Yeah.
This is a moral question.
I understand that, but morality gets pretty gray when you get into some of the black ops that keep our country safe.
Yeah.
Right. We may never know. Right?
Personally,
who says Hitler killed himself? Right.
That too.
Somebody
who says Hitler died.
But that's all a bit of a distraction from the point. We can remove Hitler and make it anybody.
Yeah. Morally, if you have to make the call, you're the final.
If I have to make the call,
let's say that.
Do you punish this person?
We invade. We say, Vladimir, we've had enough, and we go to Russia. America invades, and
right
there he is, and he's falling down the stairs and bumped his head, and he's in a coma.
Yeah. And he wakes up. He doesn't know who he is.
Or he says he doesn't know.
No. This is more question saying he legit.
CAT scans show this man is not there anymore.
Yeah.
This man is blank. He's like a child.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like
that's a good one.
For me, it's like sorry, but you're still ultimately responsible.
Well, and it's like they tried 95-year-old people for Auschwitz war crimes.
Well, they did it though.
They did. I don't know if at that point in their life do they have any. I mean,
like if you sleepwalk and you murder somebody, like in my opinion, you still got to go.
Isn't that what the comic Sleepwalker was about? I'm kidding.
The guy with the purple hat.
Yeah, the guy with the hat. He looks kind of Cad Bane.
Yes, Cad Bane. Wait a minute. Is that a Cad Bane origin story?
I don't know. That's how I view it. Is
you
like
to punish
it's like
the body.
It may not be if in the perfect world of like things being the utmost fair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It may not be, but sorry.
I mean, yeah, I don't think there's no right. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I just want to know what your answer is.
And I think it's case by case. I think it depends on the crime. Like I think the more heinous the crime, the more to the nail you have to hold them accountable. So if it was like stealing a loaf of bread, you know what I mean?
Right. Like, that's why I went to the extreme of like war crime. Something heinous.
And which is why I think that one's an easier one to say, yeah, I'm sorry, like it may not be the most fair, but somebody's got to be held accountable.
And your body did it.
Your body did it.
Yeah, and here's the evidence.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you should show me the video. That's your body doing that.
Yeah.
And you're giving the speeches. I'm like, yeah, that's you, buddy.
Look in the mirror, bro. That's you.
Nobody else has that mustache, Doofy.
Not anymore. Except for like random cats and dogs sometimes.
In my mind, even then.
So, Bobby, you've seen Breaking Bad. You've got both sides. Seen Breaking Bad? Mm-hmm. You've seen Breaking Bad. Mm-hmm. So, I can't remember the character's name, but the Hispanic like drug kingpin that doesn't talk. No, not him. I
don't remember.
Well, there's a guy who doesn't talk. Like he's mute and he's had a stroke. Well, in
bad luck.
So it is. Better Call Saul. He's like they show what happened to him, and it was not an accident what happened to him to put him in that state. Okay. But it's like this guy's a killer and a drug kingpin, and would you try this? That's what made me think of, because that in story, that's exactly what happened. He ends up being basically an invalid, but he's still like tapping his fingers to get people's attention and stuff.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah,
I do remember that. Yep.
It was the crazy Hispanic guy.
I don't remember anything about other than the tapping.
Yeah.
All I remember is like there was like a code almost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's it.
All right, Christopher.
Oh wow. So been working out still.
He deadlifted. He was repping out 185 on the deadlift yesterday.
Yep. I had a personal, like, the first thing I wanted to say I could accomplish, and it's a low ball thing really, but I bench pressed 100 pounds this week.
Yes, broke 100.
For the first time I've gotten the triple digits. So and did
Playing a quarter on the deadlifts. We're gonna get you to 2 plates soon.
Yep. I'm getting these nice calluses on my hands.
Your form is looking great. You're less shaky. You look like you belong in a gym now.
Wow.
Like I don't have to give you much pointers. Like
12 weeks.
This hasn't been that long, has it? It's been like 2 months, maybe.
Okay.
Because we started shortly before I went to Japan.
No, that's right. It was the beginning of May. Holy shit, dude.
This hasn't been long at all.
Putting in some work.
Like the amount of time for you to get to 185 in the deadlift took me months.
Really?
Yeah.
And well, I also weigh twice what you do.
Not too. But like I don't like you know that I don't have to like watch over you and give you pointers much anymore. I'll look over and make sure you're doing the right thing. I'll say this or that, but I don't have to babysit you anymore. Like I feel comfortable letting you do your thing. And
I'm
and Mason's coming over, which is great. He's been over 6-7 times now at this point.
Yep.
So like one full rotation in one day because we do 6-day rotations.
Yeah.
And he's looking much better.
Oh, he's more confident, and I'm. Part of me is really surprised he stuck with it. To be honest,
It helps to have accountability buddies, man.
yeah, accountability buddies. That's it.
Have someone to do things with.
I have a guy named Billy that I'm watching the
Accounta-Billy-Buddy.
Acolyte with, and I call him my Accounta-Billy-Buddy
That's fair.
to make sure I watch the show.
I will say
for you.
the strangest side effect of working out. I told you guys about this yesterday. My toenails had pretty much stopped growing, and I just deemed it to bad circulation. And now I have to cut those damn things every 2 weeks, like religiously.
Because you have good circulation and high protein.
Yeah.
So your body's growing the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Like your posture's better. Just look at you sitting there.
I'm actually trying to have better posture because my back always hurts.
Both of you have better postures, man. You and Mason both.
Yeah. So when I visited with my parents in, I don't know, I guess it was April when I was down there, I don't know if I recanted the story, but the first thing that happened was they bitched about customer service in stores for like an hour. And then I was like, well, what good's going on? And one of my dad's complaints involved Home Depot and not being able to find a cart to get some lumber with.
Like the big orange things?
Yeah. So I was in Home Depot the other day buying MDF, which is multi-density fiberboard. It's glue and wood. It does not react well with water. It basically ruins it.
Or anything.
Right. Well, it makes a good diorama. So they have 2x8 sheets of 1/8 inch thick MDF at Home Depot that works great, cuts great in our machines. It's a size I can manage in and out by myself, and I can cut it down to size super easy. So I was going there to buy it, and anytime I go in a place and I can check online, it says they have 50 sheets. Well, who fucking knows?
Right.
If they're there or if they're in the back. So I just always go put my eyes on it before I bother to get a trolley or a cart or whatever you want to call it. So I'm walking around and I find one, but it's wet. Like it's got puddles of water on it. Mm-hmm. It's way back in the lumber. So I look around inside. I don't see another one. So I walk back over to it, and 2 guys walk by. And this goes back to our earlier conversation, who look like they were dressed in a manner that led me to believe they were some sort of authority figure. Well, let's be honest. Home Depot is a t-shirt and shorts with your apron, right? Uh-huh. These guys had on like jeans and tucked in polos with their apron. So I'm assuming you're some sort of leadership in this building or somewhere. And I said, hey guys, do you have any paper towels or something? I might be able to wipe this off. I'm getting some MDF and don't want to get it wet. Never stops walking. He says, yeah, there's some paper towels in the bathroom. You can just grab some there.
Perfect.
Pissed me off. So I go in the bathroom, take a piss while I'm in there. And I don't know if you guys know this, but most of those dispensers, the paper towel dispensers, if you kind of bump them on the side, it'll come open. I took the whole fucking roll of paper towels out of there. Used a fuck ton of paper towels.
So you used a whole thing of paper towel?
Yeah, so I used I didn't use the whole roll. The whole roll is still in play though, trust me. So I wipe it down, and it's like
wipe me down.
Wipe me down. It's even like Bootsy badass. It's seeping out of like the pipes, and it apparently was it had been a really bad rainstorm week like that day before. So I'm wiping it down, and I'm just throwing paper towels on the floor. At this point, I'm just fucking aggravated. Mm-hmm. And I put whatever's left of the roll, I just stick it on my cart. I go get my material, go to check out. Lady scanning me. She's like, you stealing our paper towels? And I told her that story. And I said, but you probably already knew that's how that was going to go, didn't you? She said, mm-hmm. And I have a roll of paper towels in the back of my truck. Fuck you, Home Depot. I did go back and buy more wood another time. But also, if you ever want your car to have the new car smell, leave 10 sheets of MDF in it overnight.
Perfect.
I think it may be the same glue they use to put the carpet down because it smells. Kelly got in. We took my car for something, and she said, "I used to have a new car smell." I'm like, "Well, kind of, sort of, but it's also this giant stack of MDF that's in the back." So, I meant to mention this last week, and I forgot. I got my ramen racer in. I was one of the chosen, one of the 600 that got
the chosen one.
I have no idea why, because I don't remember ordering it like particularly early. It's fantastic. It is everything he promised it would be, almost to a fault. Like, it comes with all the Ghost flaming tires and shit, and you can put batteries in I don't give a fuck about any of that. I'm probably going to see if somebody wants to buy that Ghost Rider head and the parts, because you could order it without that as well. But I got it's got 2 different grills you can swap out. It has lights it's USB plug, so you can put like I don't even know what you call it. It's like an RC car battery. It's like, it looks like 3 AA's that are shrink wrapped together with a plug. You know what I'm talking? Like a rechargeable deal. You can put that in yourself if you want. Trunk opens, hood opens. You can swap the engines out. Seats move back and forth. Bobby, the gear shift moves.
Wow.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It has wheels. You can swap the wheels out. And I'm thinking, like, I think once like the aftermarket gets a hold of this, there's so many other things you can do with it.
Right.
So I'm impressed. He showed basically a G.I. Joe Mobat tank, like a Abrams tank, from like the one Steeler drove in the old. He's putting out one of those. It actually has a pre-order at Joe Fest sometime for like a tan version, which means obviously there's 4 other colors.
Right.
But Lord knows a man loves a repaint.
Yeah, I mean, he said that he has to.
Yeah. Gullwing is getting exclusive to everywhere. It looks like.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic piece. I mean, I was super impressed. I know a lot of people feel a way about the way he does business.
Me too. I don't think poorly of him.
No, I mean, I think he's a clever businessman. I will say he did lose a little with me, and I did get my car. I was one of the chosen, but I had no idea. No one knew, because he said they've shipped. He didn't initially say 600 shipped.
Right.
So everybody's like, "Oh boy, the car's on the way." They just did the first batch.
But everyone else is still getting theirs. Like,
they're getting theirs. It's just not
in waves.
Yeah. So, but why not just say that up front? 600 are going out.
Right.
Whatever. I don't know.
Next 600 to be announced.
I've never messed with any of his figures. I know, like, the Silverhawks with the bodysuit was not a very popular choice.
I know
that's weird. It sounds weird.
The red one was amazing.
The
villain,
the Monster.
He was amazing. Yeah. Amazing figure.
So I had someone we know reach out to me, and I'm just going to read you the message. I won't put them on blast. I'm pretty sure they listen. Let me find it. There he is. Friend. He said. He said I manage accounts. That's what my job is, and he had gotten a job in a similar field. Was asking for some advice. So I basically broke it down to this: keys to success in account manager, and this is pretty much in anything. Responsiveness. Set yourself a deadline to respond to emails and communication. 24 hours is a good starting point. Transparency, right? ACE. If you don't have an answer, let them know. If you have an answer, but it's not what they want to hear, have the courage to tell them anyway.
Yeah.
Relationships, building relationships and trust is crucial. Once you have that shit locked in, your customers will work for you. And I was just like, I've never bottled that before like that. When somebody's asked me, but
sell it. 3 easy steps to management.
That's it.
Now you got to fill it with 300 pages of bullshit.
Yes. You have to explain each point. You spend 100 pages explaining each of those points and why.
Maybe I'll reach out to a company that you know, Joe, that your friend works for, that does inspirational meetings or whatever, and be like, I have this great new 3-point strategy to sell success. Dude,
definitely.
You say that, I could probably write a book.
Yeah,
and sell
at least 100 pages on each point, and giving examples and.
Hey, Chat GPT.
If you have access,
give me 100 pages on.
If you have access to your customer, make sure you take them to Waffle House once.
Exactly.
That'll make them a keeper.
Whining and dining. Yeah. By the way, I don't have this in my notes, but it's worth mentioning. The Waffle House CEO said they are raising their minimum wage from $2 whatever for their server staff to like $5.25 an hour.
Wow.
You will see a reflection in the prices, especially in, what did he say? Basically in cities and things where things are more expensive.
I mean, there aren't Waffle House in cities and things either in general because of the cost.
Right. And getting people to work there. So
good. They should get paid for what they deal with and being there 24/7.
Exactly.
Amazing food.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I always tip stupid when I go to Waffle House because
Yeah.
the food is I
too.
find it to be unreasonably cheap, and like the waiters to get paid unreasonably low. Because like if you tip 15% on $5, that's fucking nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. If the check's if it's under $20, I'm probably just gonna give them $10.
Yeah,
Right. I mean, that's
exactly.
unless it was just dog shit service.
Yeah, and it never is. I've never been
Just
to a
in,
Waffle
just in
House.
general,
Yeah,
like
it depends on how much it is. I would just like double the check.
now. And
just whatever.
I know everybody asks for a tip. If I sit down and you bring me things, I'm going to tip you.
Yes.
If I come to a counter and either I press buttons or you press buttons and you hand it to me at the end,
Yeah, no.
I'm not going to tip you.
No, it's like,
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. Like I saw recently, I was in a coffee line. Now I get a specialty coffee, right? So I tip.
yeah, because I had to make that shit for you.
Right.
It's not.
But
just
I
putting it in a bin.
saw somebody walk up, order a black coffee. The lady turned the screen to a tip screen. The person clicked, I think the lowest tip. The lady turned the screen around, grabbed a cup, handed it to him, and said the fucking coffee's over there. And I was like, that's
Some bullshit.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit. But thought that was interesting that they're taking a.
Yeah.
There is a union involved, believe it or not, for Waffle House workers.
Nice.
I think it's a Southern Kitchen something or something. It's basically just for food service workers.
I like it in Japan where like people refuse to take tips because tips is not a thing.
Europe too.
You just get paid what you.
I think most
supposed to
of the
get
world is that way.
Yeah,
paid.
it is.
I
It is.
really I think it's a toxic culture.
I do too.
Yeah. I'm going to AEW next week.
yeah?
They're in Fairfax.
You getting the root beer float?
Huh?
I love the root beer
Oh,
float.
yeah. So I think we're going to make a themed day of it. We're going to go to A&W and get a root beer float and a glizzy, a chili glizzy. We need to come up with a better name for the chili glizzy.
The chisley.
The smegma.
And yeah, so got good seats. Got third row seats for. I mean, they were.
Are you gonna get sweat spray?
Hopefully somebody will be there like Zhang Heath and they'll just pop their muscles and.
Zanqueef.
Tell me what that thing smell like. So, I mean, that's hey,
The unicorn sneeze.
long in the teeth. So I'm looking forward to that. I saw that, and I somehow, believe it or not, I didn't realize they were even coming that close until
There you
like.
go.
Yeah, I had to put on my blinders.
Friendly fire.
I didn't realize that they were putting a show on as close as they were till like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, how did I miss that? I guess Fairfax, Virginia just didn't ring in my mind as close.
Oh, it's pretty close.
It's an hour.
Yeah,
it's an hour. It's at William Mason
metro
University.
area.
Is that William Mason University? Is that
George Mason.
sure that guy?
George Mason.
One of those guys.
GMU for the locals.
Yeah, I do have one Father's Day funny. It's a pre-Father's Day funny. So
That's why I watched Mortal Kombat, the live action. Circa 1999.
Wow.
okay, wow. So my note is
story, man.
Father's Day happenstance. So Mason had asked me, he's like, what do you want for Father's Day? I'm like, man, I don't know. He asked me like a month ago. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't think of anything. I said, let me find if there's a tool or something I want you to get me. And for my birthday, maybe last year, he got me this really cool contraption. It's a handle and a frame with a bolt on it. You put spray paint in and you use a drill and it shakes the fuck out of it. It works great. I've used it every day. It's probably the thing I've used the most, a gift I've used the most ever.
Kept on giving.
So Mason was taking out the trash that afternoon. And right after he had asked me that, and I was mixing my paint, and the fucker broke. So I walked out there and I said, you know what happenstance is? He's like, what? I said, the thing you got me for my birthday that I use every day broke the day you asked me what I want for Father's Day. So surprise, I'm getting a new one.
So maybe those things last exactly 1 year and he'll get you one every year.
Well, hey,
Perfect.
That's perfect. So shipping container continues. I feel like I've been working on this thing for 6 fucking months. I brought one over today and let Bobby put it together. And
Bobby Ape Hands.
Well, let's be honest. I was prepared. I have other prototypes built, so
In case.
I thought about that on the way over. I'm like, what if he? And I was thinking, how could he break it?
Snap it in half. Just jam it in there.
Somehow, just like broke the whole board in half. But
Yeah. Don't put it past me.
we've got 7 of them made. Just have to finish assembly. We're trying some new things. I'm going to try some screen printing onto MDF for the first time, although Krista came up with probably a better idea last night. But we're going to try the screen printing because I bought all the shit to try it. Worst case, I'll make you motherfuckers a tote bag. I don't have any dad jokes this week. I found some
on Father's Day. Come on,
but I did see 2 things. I saw one on the way here that I thought was funny. I was behind a truck on the interstate, and it said, "Body piercing saved my life." I saw the words first, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then I saw a hand with a nail through it. It's on the back of their windshield. The body piercing saved my life.
Clever.
What about the anal railgun though?
Bars.
Oh, the anal railgun.
Never.
Tell them the story.
I didn't share that with you.
I don't believe it.
There's a lawsuit of guys who's obviously going to win. Who knows if it is a true story or not? But there's an X-ray attached. So, and who knows why
that always makes it official.
Yeah. So, like this brand of butt plugs is advertised to be 100% silicone. So this guy. Or gal, I'm not sure. Was it a gal?
I was assuming it was a gal, but maybe I'm wrong.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Butt plugs are asexual. Everyone's got a butthole almost. But this person wears the butt plug. They like to wear it, obviously. So they wear it all the time, including to the MRI machine. And come to find out, it has a metal core. And the butt plug shot into the innards. They survive with cavity. They survive with tremendous injuries, in which they're suing the butt plug company for, because it's supposed to be 100% silicone, but the metal core obviously got activated by the MRI machine.
Oh my god!
And they called it. They said it was.
It's like anal railgun.
Oh my god!
I think that's the next name of my next mixtape. Is anal railgun.
That's crazy. What was the other mixtape you were putting it out?
Oh, I said something earlier. I don't know. I need to write.
I plan on making a cover of that for the video.
Yes, the anal railgun.
No.
Oh,
the other one.
Oh,
but
okay.
I can only imagine the surprise.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's unfortunate,
guys.
But I mean, like, you can't. I think the first response is, "Why are you fucking wearing your butt plug to an MRI?" But to each their own. You can't. That's not this person's fault for wearing a butt plug everywhere.
I guarantee
you can choose to wear a butt plug.
I guarantee you, it says somewhere on the packaging that it's silicone's all that'll touch you, right?
It says 100% silicone.
Oh, okay. Well,
Suppose that's what it is. But
I didn't Google.
You don't know it, but like there's people walking around with butt plugs.
Good for them.
For sure. I mean, I had girlfriends to wear butt plugs while we're walking around, just because it's one of those. I know you're wearing a butt plug and nobody does, and we're just walking around. It's fun.
Butt plugs and belt buckles. That's also the name of one of my mixtapes.
There you go.
My country mixtape I'm going to put out. Guys, we continue to celebrate mediocrity.
Mediocre.
Did I speak last week on the graduation ceremony that Charlie had?
Yes.
Okay. And that they, the fastest runner and the most push-ups. And
oh no, because you were going to go to one.
Oh, I was going to.
Yeah,
that's what it was. So okay, I went to
day after.
They do it in the park. They do it outside. So
they do it after dark. They do it in.
That's right. So because
they do it in the park, they do it in the dark. Most of them are known for breaking hearts. That's Houdini. Freaks come out at night.
All the kids line up and they don't even give them. They just say their name and they walk by the stage. I'm like, okay, this is fine. They're in the 5th grade. They went to school for 2.5 of those 5 years of school, right? Because of COVID. I don't know about where you guys live here, Bobby, but like they don't do homework anymore. They don't.
My high schooler does.
Right, but like school's different.
Yeah,
like,
I
it's
agree.
not the same.
I agree.
I'm not. Nobody's crying over multiplication tables like I remember doing as a child.
Yeah,
and times moved on. I'm on of two minds about it. Something like, oh, you didn't do the thing I did, but then like, am I thinking back? It's like, is that efficient?
You're not always going to have a calculator.
But I'm
in
not
your
sure
pocket.
it is.
But you do.
But we do.
Like as long as you get the knowledge, it doesn't really matter.
Well, that part though.
And I've said this.
Right. As long as they're getting knowledge, because
but I'm not sure that they are.
we've always said classrooms, the modern day classroom, or in our days, are not constructed the most conducive to learning. It's more like factory work, right?
I'm not comparing the two. I'm just talking about specifically today. I do think that my kids would benefit, my younger two would benefit from more repetitions.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I never fucking did homework, except for math.
I did in elementary
because like I always my grades got lowered because I never fucking did homework because I didn't need it. I just learned the material, just read the fucking book. Except for there are things that helps with practice, like math. Like people are bad at math because they don't do the homework. You just have to do the problems over and over and over again.
Yeah.
To solve it.
So
and I hate that learning style. Like
But
that.
sometimes
'cause I feel
you have
like,
to learn
no,
that way.
wait. That I feel like is being relied upon more now. Read the book. Read the book. Read the book, and we're going to test you on it.
It shouldn't be readable. You should. Well, it
Like
should be.
it is fundamentally the most loathsome thing I find in an educational setting. My job specifically has become very reliant upon that sort of educational structure. And
Which part of it don't you like?
any of it, because I don't learn that way. I don't retain what I read.
Well, no. Are they relying on you to just learn it on your own, or because like I do like the style where like it's before, right? We're gonna go over this topic tomorrow or next week. Read it ahead of time, and then come in with some notion of what we're going to talk about, and then we talk about.
I agree, but I feel like there's rarely in any class I've ever taken in my life, from elementary school through college and then into my professional life. Rarely do you have one class that can cover the whole book.
No, you hopefully get through 75% of it.
Right. So I feel like the teacher does what they do. They might teach 50%.
Yeah.
And then expects you to just be accountable for this other 50%, you know? And I think that oftentimes the education is not efficient with that 50%, and they could teach more if they fucking wanted to.
I'll tell you, one of my probably favorite class in school ever was...
Real quick, I often feel like I have been in a classroom setting in my adult life where I felt like, here's the dictionary, we're going to quiz you on 50 words.
See, I don't like the quizzing thing. I like you read it and then we have the discussion and learning part afterwards.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah. I was going to say, probably my favorite class in high school was a history teacher, Mr. Reynolds. He didn't use a book. He popped off the dome, and you paid attention, and then it was
you take notes.
Oral quizzes. That's it. Open note oral quizzes in the class. That dude had it down.
Yeah, because you had to pay attention, right? And you had to take notes and all that.
It was one of those classrooms that had like, I swear he had a pull down map of every fucking country in the. I mean,
the roll down map.
God, there were so many roll down maps. But
he obviously loved the subject.
The Dutch brought bowling to America. I retained that from there.
There you go.
Also fucked around a lot in that class, but anyways.
So graduation.
So we're talking celebrating mediocrity. There were people there standing up and applauding like these kids had won a Nobel Prize. There were people with "Congratulations, graduate, you did it" balloons.
Yo, I didn't even have a 5th grade graduation.
I don't think I did either.
It wasn't.
No,
it was just like
they're going to a new.
There you go, motherfucker. On to middle school.
Well, I was driving home from aforementioned Home Depot. I took the back way, and I saw you guys have seen these yard signs that Caitlin's graduating.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. All across the yard.
Yeah. This one said, "Congratulations, Colby, 8th grade graduate." Like, is that an achievement in your world?
No.
Then why do you have a fucking yard sign?
No,
for it?
ice cream. We might go get ice cream.
I think I might need to start using my power of equipment at my house to make yard signs.
Yeah.
Hey, did your kid take a shit this morning?
Dude, a couple of American flags.
The
guy, the cowboy leaning against the tree,
the
woman showing her underwear.
Specifically,
you know what I mean? The classics.
I'm specifically talking about Toby's potty trained. Or Toby's 3.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Penguins, or not penguins for that, flamingos for that.
Do you remember the birthday drive-bys during COVID? Did you see any of those?
Yeah. Yeah, I heard about those.
All that shit makes me so angry.
Yeah.
I still miss COVID.
It all makes me so angry, dude. With the shit that we fell for. And the shit that my kids lost out on.
Yeah. Yep. Well, they have stories that we won't have, so.
Yeah.
I went and saw apes.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think?
That's what the question comes from. We're gonna ask Bobby. Would you want hand feet?
If you had the option.
Yes. What would you do with them?
Probably nothing of any value.
We were assuming we were assuming you'd say masturbate.
No, I would do stuff like my floors would be cleaner
Because you have hand feet.
I just pick shit up all the time. You know, like my laundry would always get picked up.
So let's say that,
dude, I tie the fuck out my shoes.
Let's say this. Let's say
anything I didn't have to bend over for.
We're in a world where 50% of the population has hand feet and the other just has human toes and shit.
Flat feet.
Flat or normal feet like we all have now. Do you think there would be discriminations like, no, you have to do this job because you can climb better?
No doubt in my mind.
Or people get their toe cut off of their hand so they can wear normal to
look normal.
there.
I would have
because they're going to wear heels because of
but I would want the chimp feet, not the orangutan feet, because those are fucked up.
Are they different?
Yeah, the orangutan feet are like this.
No, I'm talking about hand feet.
We're talking about
no. They're like hands,
right?
But they're like
faced inwards.
Yeah, and on the side.
No. We're talking about like full on. I guess it would be chimpanzees.
Yeah, I like the
oh no!
Was it not ultraviolet? Aeon Flux, the movie. Remember, there's a girl with hand feet. It was like
Charlize
that.
Theron. Or something.
Yeah, but there was a girl in there with hand feet. I'm like, that's very.
I remember
any job that requires a ladder, you're gonna have to have hand feet.
I've actually been watching a lot of apes related stuff. Also,
not surprisingly.
Yeah. And
what a wonderful day!
What a wonderful day! What'd you think of it?
I liked it.
I liked it too.
Kelly didn't like it.
I give, this is how I describe it. I think it's the worst one made. And with that being said, I liked it a lot.
Yes.
So I think Rise is an 8.5.
I think you'll have to help me out here.
Rise was the first one.
Okay.
The second
James
one,
Franco,
the second one with versus Koba to me is a 10 out of 10 movie.
Okay.
The rare circumstance where you give a 10 out of 10. And then War to me is like a 9.5 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10, somewhere in that pocket. And then I think that Kingdom is like an 8 out of 10.
So do you think that, spoilers, the people that are in the vaults and things like never got affected, but like they have created a...
So that's my biggest issue with
that
it.
was Kelly's big issue. It was like, how come some of these people are running around the woods with zebras and these motherfuckers are wearing spacesuits?
They've somehow remained...
Maybe they got in the vault before.
Oh, that's Fallout. Yeah.
They've somehow remained immune or protected from the virus. But in the movies, like the virus got like hyper aggressive. Like it like in the beginning, it just made people like sick.
Yeah.
And then like then it made them like mute. By the end of it, it was making them mute. Like that's why like when you get to like the Charlton Heston era, they're all like, you know, because they don't have the ability. They literally don't have the ability to speak anymore.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I mean, Kelly had watched them while I was out of town. I'm like, oh, awesome. I've seen them all. You know, I watched a little catch up video just to remind myself, and we went into it.
Did she like the others?
She really enjoyed the rest of them. She said and one of the points of contention was the human thing.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I just can't.
That was my biggest issue with it.
Yeah.
And you just give them the bring it full circle with ape stuff. Give them the little apparatus they gave Amy, good girl from Congo, so they can sign.
Dude, my dad used to do that to me all the time because we saw it in the theater all the time. It's funny because I do the home family with my kids all the time, but my dad, after seeing Congo, he like if I was ever just close to him, I was just like glaring, like glazing or dazed off into space or whatever. What does he call it? Staring off into space. Yeah. He would just take his two fingers and put it up to my temple and go because she does that in this one scene. Anyway, so I think that I think Kingdom is good. I think speaking of mediocrity, I think my other issue with Kingdom, aside from the human part, which I do have a big issue with, is the lack of coolness once again. Like so Proximus is like a super cool, interesting, fascinating character. And the rest of them are also apes.
Right.
You know, except for Raka. Raka's fucking cool. The orangutan.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, he's great.
And I love
Proximus
like this,
and Raka are great. And then the other, like the main ape, Noah, I think the one that you follow, he's just sort of nondescript.
Right.
It's not like Caesar, where Caesar's like, fuck, like this is a character with depth and emotion. Like, you know, like there's fucking something in this dude's soul.
Right.
You know, like the Noah is just like an ape.
I did like you know, what are we saying? This is 200 years later or whatever.
Generations is how it's described. So very tactfully, I might add.
Let's say, just for shits and giggles, it's, well, what a generation would say.
100 years, roughly?
Sure. So it's
200 years.
Let's just, for
2 to 3
conversation's sake, the fact that tribalism had presented itself with no prompting, you know, that false prophet, the whole thing of the Caesar, so
that's what I love. That's what I love the most about it is like,
and just real quick, Raka, I was like, I hope he comes. I hope he doesn't die in that water.
So supposedly, like there's
a scream at the end.
Yeah, it's not. It's just like, it's supposed to be him. But the what I love, you nailed it for me, so to speak. But that like because like Dawn is really like a Moses story of Caesar,
right?
And then War is really like a Jesus story of Caesar without the resurrection, right? But this movie is fascinating to me because it's generations later, and now Caesar has become a Christ-like character. That some of them have his motivations fucked up. Some of them think of him as one way, and others, interpret his words in another way.
The Jedi
and
are evil from my point,
right? And it's that's fucking cool.
And then
and they base their whole society on it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yes,
exactly.
That's what we do.
Exactly. But that's the beauty of shit like that. Is when you make a statement about something, and it's great.
So we went, obviously, Warehouse Cinemas in Frederick is where we like to go.
That's the only place I go anymore.
And, we
the new theater is at Regal. Great.
Okay.
By the
I'm not saying
ice cream shop.
Yeah. I'm just saying they've yes, but I'm saying in that building they have made new theaters in that building. Like they've torn out the old ones and put in new ones.
But now it's still a theater, but different. But renovate it.
Yes, but like reclining seats and all that.
Nice.
Even they have VIP ones where it's just unlimited sodas and popcorn, and and it's self-serve. So you're in your own little area, so you can come out of the so you can come out of the theater and just fill up your cup, grab some popcorn, and go back in.
Thank you for sharing that. Last time I went there, I went to see that Transformers event, and it was still those awful red seats.
Yeah, and I don't say that to sway you one way or the other. I just say if it's only playing one, it's got
sure.
It's FYI kind of thing.
Yes, exactly.
Right, and thank you for telling me that because I will consider that option when I look because we were actually on a roll working in the shop that day, and I'm like. There was a 3:30 movie. If we leave, that pretty much blows the day, right? So we want to go 6:30. The one at 6:30, they were playing Warehouse. It had captions. It was a captioned.
Oh, really?
I'm like, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
And the next was 9:50, and Kelly's in bed by then most of the time.
I have captions on my Amazon account. I have no idea how to turn them off. Can't figure it out.
Really? It's a star, but on the Roku remote, it's a star button. And
I can't tell you what it is on the fucking Sony or whatever the fuck
I can
it is. Samsung.
I can show you if you'd like.
I might have to tidy up the old bedroom.
That's okay.
My guests up in well, guests of your life.
I tidied. I spent 4 hours tidying up my side of our bedroom the other day. Oh my god! And just we have the cuck chair. I don't know why this chair's in. I swear to God. I love that. There's a chair in the bedroom that, you know what it does? That's the, I'll wear that again before I wash it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a closed layout or cat.
So I told Kelly, I'm like, I don't want this chair anymore. So she put it on Marketplace, and I'm like, I'm just probably going to say, I'm going to take this to Goodwill.
Or Green Drop.
Or whatever.
They'll come by and pick it up off your porch.
Okay.
Did they pick up furniture too?
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%.
Did they pick up TVs? Because I have 3 extra TVs.
I think so. There's a list on their site. It's most
laptops
things.
Too.
It's most things.
Laptops. There's things on there that I probably need to magnetize before I
So we use there's a laptop downstairs in the gym, and it runs Windows 7.
I have 4 Windows XP. You've seen my stack of laptops.
Yeah.
I have a stack of laptops. I don't throw them away. I don't know what to do with them because, again, I have to magnetize them before I trust anyone else to handle them.
Yeah.
I don't know what's on there no more.
Yeah.
Saying that to say,
I'm like that with old phones. Like you can wipe them clean, but I'm still like,
yeah, magnets.
How clean is clean?
We went to the theater in Westminster, which is in that dead mall up there, and it's an old flat bottom theater like Warehouse, and they put same thing, seat recliner. So it was super nice experience. And there's a Texas Roadhouse up there.
Oh,
it's kind of hidden.
Yeah.
And the salad wasn't good, Bobby.
No.
Caesar
They have
salad.
the best Caesar.
It wasn't enough dressing, and
I'll tell you, the last time I went, I had a negative experience also.
Oh no.
The rest of my food was great. I got a steak and shrimp.
Yeah, everything was salty as fuck.
You're just getting old.
It was insane. There was some of the shit I couldn't even taste the fucking food. It was just salt and texture.
That's too bad.
That's too bad because I feel like it's a step up of Outback. I used to prefer
same.
Texas Roadhouse.
Same.
I will say that the rolls are still fantastic, and I got a steak that's probably a little overcooked for my taste, but I'm also the guy who will eat it anywhere from medium rare to well done, and probably no, I will. I never order it that way.
I know, but I wouldn't.
But I'm just
I wouldn't.
We were in it. We
return it, but
and the shrimp was fantastic.
Oh, good.
We're not.
Maybe it's possible I could have had an off day.
And
you didn't have the chef had an off day.
That's what I mean.
I will tell you, and we went to eat early on purpose because we wanted to.
Early bird.
Yeah, we got it. We got there like 5:15. There was a wait. There was people standing around outside at 5:15 on a Saturday.
Were they old?
That's a mixed bag. I mean, we ended up sitting at the bar.
I feel
Nobody
like
at
most
the
people
bar.
that go out to like chain restaurants, like you got to get there early on a weekend, especially, or you're fucked.
That's fine.
And
That's only
anybody
on
that's listening,
weekdays.
You're fucked.
If it's like just you and one other person, you and your spouse or whoever, if you and your friend,
Sit at the bar.
sit at the bar.
Yeah.
That's what we did. There was nobody. At
You can
the
just
bar.
sit in.
Yeah, just sit there. And,
Self-seating,
You know,
yeah.
they'll take care of you, and fucking waitresses, bartender ladies will tell you stories that you have no interest in.
Yeah, see, that's what I want to avoid, and I don't know.
And my
I
wife
You
love-
love
somehow-
the, what do you mean? You love the talking, Bobby.
I love a specific type, but it's a gamble. So, like, if the person is interesting or a character, I'm in for it. But a lot of people will be like, do you really know how to clean a cast iron pan? Oh, my God. Yeah, that's the kind of shit that
I
I
hear that.
love.
I found in the office. I hear that so much.
And here's one thing that just I was like, what? So it was loud in there. They had a Orioles game on, not the cookies, the bird.
Same difference. They're both
And
Frenchy.
it was on loud, and they had music playing, and it's a bar. I mean, the place is loud, anyways.
Them O's
And the
on.
lady was talking across the. She was behind the bar, obviously, talking to us. I heard like noises coming out of it. I couldn't understand what she was saying. She also reminded me of my ex-mother-in-law, which not a good look. But anyways, I just
very
thought it was
specific.
interesting back there. Red Dead Redemption, been playing that some more. I was up till 2:00 last night. I didn't even realize it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, fuck them games and them open world games. Will suck
that
you in.
game's great so far. I mean, I'm really the story they're telling and the gameplay.
Arthur Morgan.
Yeah, it's true. I fucking forget what button does what. I accidentally shot the guy that runs the bathhouse, and I had to basically. I had just spent all this money buying my oat cakes
horse?
for my horse and
Yes.
shit, and I'm like, I had like $76, and it was a $70 bounty on me. So I'm like, fuck, let me go to the train station and pay this, and now I have like $6. Anyway,
I like how you can pay your own bounty.
yeah, I do like that. That's an
Like,
interesting.
stop catching me. He's just some money.
Yeah, yeah.
I got a buddy of mine playing it at work, like during downtime, like super downtime. There's literally nothing to do.
Yeah.
But he must be into it because I'll be like, where the fuck is? Red Dead probably.
Yeah, it's
It's funny.
It's
It's
a lot
like
of fun.
4 years old and now people are catching on.
I'm thinking they remastered it for the PS5 because
The
it
first one.
looks
Yeah,
fucking Red Dead 2. Yeah, it looks fucking fantastic. Like it looks as good as Cyberpunk. I think that's saying a lot because that game looks great outside of its issues. So before we get into the main event here, have you seen the Star Wars Outlaw trailers? The video game is coming out. So it comes out in August. It's an
maybe.
open world.
No.
It's an open world game. It looks to have some of the same
I saw an
play.
announcement for it.
Yeah.
some time ago.
So trailers out. Anyways, it's an open world, multiple planets.
PS5 exclusive.
Nope. PS5, Xbox. Ubisoft is doing it, which Joe says
Platform. Yeah, it's a shit company now.
we'll see.
Most of them.
but it's available on all platforms. Well, all the new next gen platforms.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be available for your Nintendo Switch.
or the PS4. That's what I still have.
And then I guess this will be our crossover event.
Yeah.
Star Wars: The Acolyte Episode 3.
Yeah. Well, I went first last time.
I don't know anything about it, but I see nothing but negative on my feed.
Spoilers alert for everybody.
Spoiler alert. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like,
I've never seen you so perplexed talk about Star Wars.
If they told that story, and I see what they're doing. I think what they're going to do, and I think they're telling the story from OSHA's point of view, right?
Yeah. But you got to be safe at work.
Yeah, I was going to say OSHA, OSHA.
Yeah, you do.
There's standards.
Yeah, there are
For a reason.
There are. Yeah, ladder safety. You can't have exposed nails in a warehouse. I actually got an OSHA document that said that one
Good.
time. Anyways, OSHA's point of view, because if you look at the way that there's so many gaps in that, like when how did those Jedi? How did the witches die? Like they're just dead. It doesn't
So
explain.
I think that's on purpose because I have a feeling that this is just my
Well, what I was getting to is I think they're going to tell it from May's point of view, the other girl's point
At some
of view
point.
At some point,
because I have a feeling that the mother did it. The other
you
mother.
think the
the Darth Maul mother,
the Darth Maul mother, the
Ithorian, whatever.
no, that's not right. But I know what you mean.
That's the species.
Athorian? I thought they started with. Anyways,
They're
Oh,
from
I thought-
Dathomir.
Oh,
but
I
that
didn't-
species, Maul species, particularly is like Ithorian, some shit. Like
okay. I'm sure someone will correct us.
That's yeah, and her name was like Quarrel or something, or
Sure.
but like mother,
Quarrel
it was like
or
Mother
Quarrel?
Quarrel, or
Yeah.
She had she had the hyphen in her name, which also seemed weird. There's a lot that seems weird.
Well, I mean, these children are born of the dark side of the Force, maybe. And I don't know.
So
I don't know, man.
one thing I will say that's particularly interesting to me is whatever is going on that planet.
Yeah.
They have made an awful lot of stone and metal that is highly flammable.
They sure have. Because that entire...
It was hard to ignore. I'm like, how is the rock on fire? The whole rock side?
I will say...
How is this metal door on fire?
It's magnesium door and phosphorus rocks.
Listen, we don't know what
we
don't know what their atmosphere is made of.
Hey,
We
this
don't know
is
if they're
not
breathing
our
oxygen.
Earth. This is
Yeah.
a galaxy
They could be
far,
breathing-
far
they
away.
could be-
It's made of idiocy.
That's fair.
It's highly flammable.
Listen,
Idiom.
I will say, this is beautifully... I think it's shot well. I think it's the costumes are fantastic. It's just so wooden and the kids bickering, that fucking killed it for me. They're arguing while they're... And the mother's this very hands-off, just let them learn their own lessons kind of thing.
So I think it's a good story.
Okay.
I think it's a good
That's
story.
Wow.
Biggest surprise of my fucking week.
But wait, you just
This is a sandwich. We're waiting.
sit tight.
Okay.
This is an open face sandwich.
So here's Joey.
With gravy on it.
Joey, here's the story.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is a coven of witches living on this planet.
Here's the story.
The witches are adjacent to the witches of Dathomir, but they're not quite the same. It's
Yeah.
like a different type of witch.
Okay.
Is she a good witch or a bad witch? I'll get back to this in a second, but the lead witch seemingly has twin daughters,
Okay.
Osha and May. And
It's gonna be May.
I gotta be May. And May and Osha are both strong in the Force. Osha wants to be a Jedi. May does not. May wants to continue in the witch tradition. These children are detected by the Jedi. The Jedi come to present the trials or testing to see if they qualify to be Jedi.
Steal the children.
And they basically want to take them. In the midst of kind of finalizing the details, which get a little topsy-turvy, the daughter May, who wants to be a witch, seemingly turns against and tries to kill everybody.
Now, hang on. You're leaving out the part where there was a ceremony where they are ascending to witch level.
Yes.
And during that ceremony, the
They're
Jedi's
interrupted
come in.
by the
So
Jedi.
May she has this swirly tattoo kind of thing that appears on her head once they give her the witch powers that they pull out of the air somehow.
It's the Force.
Yes, it is. And then the May, the one that wants to be a Jedi, actually.
Osha.
No, I'm sorry, Osha.
Yeah, I know.
The safety officer.
The safety officer. Yeah.
I'm going to start calling her the safety. So the safety officer wants to be a Jedi.
Makes
and
sense.
she doesn't want to be a witch. She says that I don't
Yeah.
want to do this. And
Yeah.
they're like, well, we're bonded or whatever. You have to do it. But she doesn't. The ceremony gets interrupted and she doesn't get ascended to witch.
So
but the girl who wants to be a witch does.
So the Jedi take the safety officer back to Coruscant, and they know that she's just gone through this trauma. And then we already know that at some point in the future, those children are grown up, and May sort of comes back to exact revenge on all of those Jedi that took her sister away from her.
From her point of view.
From her point of view. And subsequently led her to killing off her entire coven. Maybe, unless the other mother did it, which I'm suspecting is a possibility. Okay. That on paper to me,
That sounds good.
cool. Interesting. Let's see where it goes.
And there's a little bit of a mystery because there is a Sith about. We don't know who it is.
Well, a red lightsaber wielder, let's say.
Sure.
So, with that being said, interesting premise. I'm up for this story. Execution is awful.
Hate to see it.
It's awful. The dialogue is worthless. It's performed even more worthless.
Is it like prequel kind of thing?
Yeah. It's
It's
pretty
worse.
Cool.
It's worse.
It's worse.
It's
Okay.
worse because
if it's prequel, it's excusable.
because there's no Ewan McGregor.
No, I
there's
love
no
you
Natalie
more.
Portman.
There's
There's no Samuel Jackson. There's no people with acting chops to even give it the slightest bit of life. It's just bland.
It's very George Lucas dialogue.
what I'm
That's
saying.
what I-
But it's like an
I'm-
impression of it.
I was wondering if it's on purpose to be on that level.
But it's like
everything
it's
rhymes.
like a bad impersonation.
Everything rhymes.
It's like a bad impersonation.
poetry.
But my issue with it is I hate that I even have to say this, but I can't help but notice it. Is like Darth Plagueis the Wise. Have you ever heard the tale
The Wise
of Darth Plagueis the Wise? I thought not. Was so powerful, right? So powerful that it was thought that even he could create life, right? And prevent death, right? It's the power of life, right? That nobody has really been able to tap into, okay? And in this show, there are these two lesbian characters, these two witches, these mother witches that have twins. And basically there's a human witch, a good witch, and then there's the Ithorian, I think it's Ithorian witch, that's Darth Maul's people.
Except she's
the bad witch.
like skin tone colored.
Yeah. And which we don't really know what Maul's color is because we don't know if it's all tattoo. We don't. It's up for discussion.
Savage was the same but yellow.
Exactly. So is there a base? Like, you know, like which one is Hasbro painting on?
They're just like kittens. You just don't know what you're gonna get.
Right. So
Is that
So anyway, and it is said in this show that the Darth Maul mom carried the children, and the human mom created the life in her womb. So now you have this other character just kind of willy-nilly creating life, right? So here's my thing: is now on a fundamental level of Star Wars, you have done now either one of two things. You have made Darth Plagueis not as powerful as we once thought, or you have made this other random character that you just decided to introduce way more powerful than every other character in Star Wars that we've ever seen on screen.
There's a third option. This is Darth Plagueis. I'm serious.
No, so it can't be.
we know the race
because
that Darth
he's referred
Plagueis
to
is.
as he.
Also, we know what race he is.
And we know
Hang on.
that pronouns matter.
Hang on.
No,
Darth Plagueis is referred
Plagueis was
to
the
as
banker.
he.
Right.
It's also the banker race. We know what
banking
But that's
plan.
EU.
Oh, so it could be.
So no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Darth Plagueis did this.
But she said she did it.
Okay,
Sure.
Here's some other options.
She said she did it, but
I
how
don't
did she
think-
get that power?
I think because the writer said you have that power.
Right, but do you really think they're going to create if Darth Plagueis exists because we talked about it in canon? You don't think that they're like, oh, we'll take this Darth Plagueis character that everybody's always talked about and tell this story?
Not at all.
Okay,
I don't think
Not a single fucking chance.
What about
Not a single fucking chance. Not
see.
during Pride Month with two lesbian characters, one of which just became one of the most powerful figures in Star Wars.
I guess
So
we'll see. I don't know.
That's Disney right now.
I know that's Disney, but at the same time, I'm thinking of laziness, and I think the problem
The
with this
laziness is right in front of you.
It's shitty by committee.
The laziness is right in front of you.
It's
They
shitty by
didn't have
committee.
to explain it. They just said that she could do it.
Okay,
That's as lazy as it gets.
I'm agreeing with what you're saying, but I'm also
I
I'm not
would love for Plagueis to be involved. I would
I'm
love
not-
that.
okay.
But for her to say I did it, and they want her to be they want her to have that power.
Yeah.
I think.
There's just a couple of options.
Now they can always do rewrites from who knows.
One is Sidious is lying, which is very, very possible to entice Anakin, right? Just to tell him about this thing where it's very extreme, right? Maybe it's not that uncommon for very powerful people to be able to do that. We don't know. I mean, this is just me. I don't care. I'm just throwing some ideas out there. And two is like maybe it's different. Where she's talking about Darth Plagueis is just creating life out of nothing versus making life in an existing womb, right? Because the lady has eggs, right? She's fertilizing the egg.
Well,
or something.
so
I mean, I'm just talking about scientific terms.
sure.
I'm just
If things work that way there.
The ancient old debate, right, Star Wars wise, is that Plagueis knew this power, never implemented it, taught it to Palpatine, and Palpatine created Anakin.
But okay, and still
And-
still
and then
within
kept
the womb,
himself-
still made him not out of like a fucking bush,
Correct.
Right, out of a lady's baby parts
That you would
so to
need.
speak.
That you would need the other. You would need something. You would need the soil.
And here's my this is wild theory here that he got this power from Plagueis, and he said two things. He said you could, stop death, which somehow Palpatine returns because he never died. I'm just looking at the overall nine movie arc here, right? So I don't know. I said Plagueis never used it. So let's see. I'm going to watch the rest of it.
No, me too. I have Accounta-Billy-Buddy.
And I think like the sets look great, the costuming looks great, and I'm a super mark for all that shit. I'm like, oh, that'd be a cool diorama.
And just to, I think it's lazy and stuff anyway. But like, it's a big enough galaxy to which they can write the way out of it, because like it's not every single event of every single corner of this galaxy is documented, right? Just because nobody knows that somebody can use this power doesn't mean these covens of witches that nobody knows about. Like Dathomir
Witch, but the Jedi know about them.
That they had zombies and shit.
But the Jedi know about these witches
because
they roll up.
They roll up, and they apparently
know everything about these witches and what they can do.
Well, no, but I mean, they were strong enough in the Force to realize that these two children were there that were strong in the Force.
They had detected them somehow.
Yeah, like I just think, and
that's also really questionable to me.
But to be honest with you, I don't even know. I don't think the writers are even asking these questions.
And we're asking more questions than they are.
1,000%.
Because they don't know that they don't have a comprehensive knowledge of the lore.
And the other thing, right, is like I don't give a fuck about lesbians and gay people and stuff. I don't give a fuck. Put them in. I don't care. Like the shit in episode 9 was like two women kissing in the background. I didn't ever give a shit about that.
I didn't even notice that.
There's probably lesbians in this universe. There's probably homosexuals. Like, who gives a shit?
I mean,
but what I do care about is when I feel like the whole fucking rollout is based on it. When you have a woman sitting there saying like, well, yeah, I mean, I think gay people have always been a part of Star Wars. I mean, isn't R2 and 3PO gay?
So
and
what's
like,
the robots?
And it's correct, but more importantly, it's like why is this becoming the turkey on Thanksgiving? Why does it need to be the turkey?
I didn't even.
Why can't it just be the buns?
It didn't even cross my mind,
so to speak.
The gooey buns.
Why can't it be the stuffing?
To me,
so to speak. I'm trying to find one that doesn't so to speak.
The sweet potatoes.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, why does it need to be the focal point?
Twice baked potatoes.
Like, that's where it starts to seem preachy to me, and I don't want to be preachy.
So I will tell you, from my point of view,
the Jedi are evil.
That's so normalized to me that it didn't even really cross my mind that it's like, oh, well, I guess I know why they're doing that. I will say, and I don't.
It's like it's part of the rollout.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well,
it doesn't need to be. It should be unspoken. It should just be normalized. If it's normalized, it's normalized. Don't say anything about it.
I will say that, and it's probably just because they didn't make. I didn't see them like post rainbow flag of these two characters or anything. I don't think it's
but they made a point to talk about LGBTQ in Star Wars and how it's always been.
When did that? No, I'm just saying, was it like a press conference or an interview?
No, it was a press release. Like it was a press run.
Okay, so honestly, they
were interviewed on some.
It's believable.
It was the director and one of the actors. The same one where that one actor was like, "Well, of course, there's nuance to good and bad. I mean, Anakin blew up the Death Star."
What? Oh, Jesus. He was there when it happened. I mean, maybe from their point of view, Anakin did blow up the Death Star.
No, from their point of view, they don't know who the fuck Anakin is.
I know.
And not that they need to, right? Like, not.
But you shouldn't speak on it if you don't know, though, right?
Correct.
You don't have to know, but don't speak on it if you don't know.
Correct. And my whole thing with it is like, if you just make everything else as good and as meaningful as this thing that's obviously super important to you, perfect. Then it's just another super important, meaningful thing in the sauce of super important, meaningful things.
Yeah.
But when it seems like this is all you really want to make sure they care about, I can't help but be like, man, like, no wonder you're creating this toxic group of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like,
by reaction,
I love pizza, but I want to eat it at my pace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The moment that you tell me I have to eat pizza, I don't have to eat shit.
Is that how you get me to stop eating pizza? Demand that I eat pizza?
I pay my fucking taxes. Like.
Well, I mean, I'm going to see this through. I will tell you one thing that I've noticed from a marketing standpoint, and it's not anything to do with the month it is or anything, but. I got my days mixed up this week, and Monday night I was like, "Oh shit, Star Wars came out," and I make a little bit of, I listen, I put my headphones in, and I can do that, and I watch it on the TV. I turn off the lights, set the mood, and I try to make it an experience. I'm not, watching on my phone or whatever. No offense if that's how you have to watch it.
No, I'm watching it. I'm watching this one closer and with more scrutiny than a lot of the other ones because I have my Accounta-Billy-Buddy.
Okay, and that's good. So I'm, I'm the same. I'm like, I put my phone away. I don't fuck with my phone while I'm watching. I really want to pay attention because I like looking at it. At the end of the day, it's visually stimulating to me. I like looking at the sets and the costuming and the acting's wooden, of course, but just like it isn't like they can say, all right, let's we're going to rent this place to film today. No, they have to build all this shit to me, and the craftsmanship involved. That it's silly that I say all this, but I enjoy that side of it.
But that's fine.
The craftsmanship,
objectively fine.
I just hope season 2 of Andor is as good as season 1. That's my only hope right now.
I just feel like
that's my only hope.
I feel like
Andor, you're my only hope.
I feel like if I was in Star Wars right now, if I was a character, the way that I would be written right now is I'd be sitting at a table and they would be like, the Force is very strong, but sometimes the Force is too strong, and yet sometimes the Force is not strong enough. And then they would cut to me and be like, I'm bald. I'm bald.
Sometimes the Force gives me a boner.
Do you see it?
A boner.
Do you see how bald I'm bald as fuck, dude. Do you see how bald I am right now? Dude, imagine if you were bald. Like that's how it feels. And it's just like the other people are watching it in the room because it doesn't matter why.
Happenstance.
But like people come in and been like, man, is it always been like a big political piece in that way? And I'm like, not in that way. Like the beauty of it is like, oh, do you see the message here? That's the subtlety, but it's like, and I don't care. It's just like if everything else seemed like it was carrying the same weight.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me. Is it's like this is the bar that the dumbbells are on.
Yeah. It's holding everything up.
Yeah.
So anyway,
how was your nerd week, Bobby?
Not fucking impressed. But I think what's even worse about it is I think it's actually a good story. It's a good concept story.
They're fucking up a good. They could have been better.
Correct. Okay. Let's see here. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry, I got a couple of things going on.
Don't we?
Anyway, let me see what else I have on my notes here. So I watched Inside Out.
Is it a Disney cartoon?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that the one about the emotions?
Yes.
The sequel's coming out?
Yes. So I think my niece is coming into town next week, and I'm going to be taking her to see it. The sequel. Mm-hmm. I feel like my niece is kind of at that age. Like Jane is like of that age too, but Jane is also like kind of into like digital art and shit, where she's like she wants to see it for entirely different reasons.
Yeah.
But I think my niece might be like the kids movie vibe, But we'll see. But I'm down to take them if they want to go. So, but anyway, I figured if I was gonna take them,
you got to see the first one.
I got to see the first one. So I watched it.
Cute, if I remember, it's been a long time.
Concept amazing.
Yeah.
Concept amazing. There's these, there's these creatures inside your head.
Yeah, and they're different emotions.
They're different emotions, and they control basically like a joystick arcade layout of your reactions.
Of your existence.
And when you're a baby, you've got one button, right? But as the time that you're like 10 or 12, now it's like joysticks and buttons and swivels and wheels and, like it's more complicated. And I dug all of that. There's these things about memories versus core memories versus personality traits versus lost memories versus archived memories.
That's a great teaching tool.
It's fucking...
I watched it when it first came out. It was years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because
the sequel's upon us.
I think it came out during COVID and was one of those
because I know I've seen it, but like it's very vague memory.
Conceptually amazing.
Yeah.
However, I don't think it's as great as a lot of people do because there's like a headquarters, which is like the core, the center of the brain, but they get out of the headquarters. I forget how or why, but they end up like a large majority of the plot of the movie centers around sadness and joy making their way back to headquarters. And in the meantime, it's anger and disgust and fear that are kind of running the show because sadness and joy are gone. So the metaphor is not lost on me. I dig that. But just how sadness and joy get back to headquarters is it very contrived.
Is it Zoloft?
I don't know what that means.
It's an antidepressant.
Oh! Thank God I don't know what that means.
Thank God.
But like they
he knows.
SSRIs, buddy, it
Exactly.
made the world a tolerable place.
they end up putting one on like a rocket, another one they stack up a bunch of like characters on top of their, then they fall on a trampoline. The trampoline bounces them back up. It's just
that's the plot of Fast 9.
yeah. You're
Except
probably right.
there's a Fiero.
That was the part that I was kind of like, okay. I mean, that's a bit of a stretch, and it took me out of it a bit. But I love the concept. Love it. Looking forward to the second one.
It's kind of like a
But I would give it a 7 out of 10 or a C.
Osmosis
C+.
Jones.
For some reason in my head, I have that and Wreck-It Ralph 2 bundled together, like the memories. And they might have come out around the same time, but they both have this adventure they have to go on to get back. I don't know.
But I would give it a C+.
So the new one, the girl's like has hit puberty and anxiety is showing.
Oh no!
So now we need a different medication, right?
Which once again, great.
Oh, you need Xanax now.
I watched. I feel like I watched something else that I'm not mentioning here, but I watched Fallout. I watched
the TV show?
Yeah, the first.
The whole thing?
No, I just started the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, I watched.
Loving it.
Bobby,
Yeah.
it makes me happy.
Yeah, loving
That
it.
makes me happy that you are enjoying it.
I think I watched
am so
4.
happy.
Yeah, loving it
that
so
you are enjoying something I enjoy.
Yeah, loving it. So
I watched. I think we watched 4
think it's well done.
episodes. I'm enjoying it. It's just it kind of got put in the back burner to some other stuff. There's other like The Boys came out this week, and
my criticism is, and it's not the show's fault, it's the game's fault. But I think the design of the troopers, the tin can people, is goofy. And watching them move, I think looks super goofy.
They are. I mean, it's
That's my only criticism.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be. It's kind of a social commentary. A lot of things are good. You see, like they're high tech but backwards, right? Because their tech evolved differently from the 50s. Like they have all these computers, high tech shit, freezing faults, but they still have like tube TVs.
Right.
Yeah. So it's part of the
Like they
aesthetics that they're supposed to be like retro futuristic.
So I can take that for the aesthetic, but just generally like you could make them move better.
oh yeah,
Like they just,
I think the clunkiness is part of the aesthetic.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, realistically, because they built those suits, so like that's how they would move in the real world to have them.
I think
in
I
real
just
space.
don't enjoy watching them.
Yes. Yeah. You
Well, I don't know how far you've gotten.
rather take the realism out of it and make it more aesthetic.
But I like the story.
Have you gotten to where not the girl character, the guy character ends up being I don't know what they call him, the bitch boy to drag the bags around for these.
the squire.
Yes,
The
yes,
squire.
the squire, and then there's
Yeah,
the
the
bear
squire.
and all that.
Like in wrestling,
Because the
they call
knights,
that
the knights and the armor is the steed.
That's
yeah,
right.
I dig all that.
Yes.
I dig all that.
I'm so happy you're
lo-
enjoying
yeah,
it.
very much enjoying
Please keep watching.
I think it's a well done show.
give it a B so far.
Yeah, a B+.
Oh wow, wow.
Yeah, a good quality program.
This is making my week, Bobby. I'm telling you.
quality program.
I think it's a good quality program.
I want to keep watching it hopefully to the end.
Well,
and
then do this.
Keep me up to date on how you feel about it.
Yeah, I will.
Watch The Acolyte and then cleanse your palate with Fallout every week.
And I want to be honest about Acolyte too. I don't hate it.
Right, which is surprising because we were assuming you were gonna hate it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I just don't think it's great. I don't even think it's good. I think it's fine, but I think the DNA of it is just set to make it good.
Yes.
And they were like, no, fuck it. Make it gay. You know, and like, you know, and I'm like, no, my heart, not my words, but that's how it feels.
Is it possible in any universe where that can be the title of the show? Fuck it, we'll make it gay. Please. It's Pride Month. We can do it.
I know.
We can get
and,
away with
and
it.
Look, and that's not like nothing but love for the gay community. And I not too long ago, I had gay friends at my house, partying it up, hugging them, telling them how much I love them. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with that. It's just that like I don't want anything. Like I say this all the time, right? Like when we talk about race or religion or other, all of these things that we use as these things that separate us. Mm-hmm. I'm different from you because of this. And this is why my experience is so greatly different. It's usually the least fucking interesting thing about you.
Yes.
You know? And when you get to the core of who a person is, all of these like things that we use as a thing to identify us, and I don't mean that in the hashtag trendy way. I mean that in the psychological way, aren't the things that really make us who we are in the first fucking place. And if they do, you end up becoming a fucking bore.
Yeah. It becomes you become a one-dimensional character in real life.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you're more passionate and have more things to say about this show than you did with Ahsoka.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think there's more to this show.
Yeah, I feel like you feel like there's a greater loss because this had more potential than the Ahsoka story did.
Correct.
Well, the other thing is they're not One thing, and I know Mike kept trying to tie it into something existing. They are telling a story that is necessarily not. I mean, I think there's probably some of the newer books that might tie in a little to what's going on.
I doubt it.
But like, they kind of had a sandbox to play in, and they could do whatever they want. And hey, I've been saying for a long time, I jokingly mention Coruscant Nights all the time, but in that story, there's a little bit of a gumshoe detective vibe to it. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a mystery about, and we don't know if it's one of these, Jedi's secretly a Sith. Is it the dude that was in the shop with her?
If there's a Sith, I'll tell you. So here's another thing. If that dude is a Sith, I'm probably out.
You're talking about the
Kylo Ren helmet face looking.
Oh, well, I was talking about the one of the 4 Jedi.
Oh, okay. Because whoever that guy is. To me, he's the most mystique around him. Mm-hmm. But to me, we've
only seen that person once.
You weren't here on this episode. We just had an episode. It was Chris Maul and Jordan. It was one of those weeks, and we had a conversation about Star Wars. And I was like, it's important that you give the Sith space from when they show up in episode 1, because by the time they show up in episode 1, it's supposed to be some holy fuck, they're real.
Yeah.
The legends, the story. Yeah. Not only not common, they're the stuff of legend.
Yeah.
They're
not even supposed to exist anymore.
No. So it would be and I made this comparison in that Nerd Rage episode where I was like, it would be like you went to Utah to see a NASCAR race.
They don't do that, but okay.
Right?
Fair.
You went to Utah to see a NASCAR race.
First time ever.
You're walking back to your Honda Civic that's parked in the desert. And when you walk back to your Honda Civic that's parked in the desert where one of your friends and a dog are waiting for you in the Civic, out comes from behind the hill Satan himself. Tail, hooves, horns, goat feet, the whole Satan look, and you're like, holy fuck.
Does he say?
It's legit.
Mm-hmm. Hey, guys.
It's all legit.
Hey, guys.
That's how
That's how
Darth Maul should feel.
Yeah.
So, to have another Sith, just 100 years before, it's okay. I guess they're just hanging around.
Down the street.
I'm okay with I want to explore. Let's explore some dark Jedi, some just dark side users.
Things that don't have to be a Sith. You don't have to have that label.
Yes.
They are very specific things. It's a specific cult.
Don't put a label on me.
Right. Let's see what else I did. So I watched Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2 with my family. Beverly Hills Cop is a 10 out of 10 movie. The first one. The second one, it's funny because I prefer a lot of the things about the second one over the first one. It's darker. Mm-hmm. The tone is darker. But I seeing it this time, for whatever reason, it clicked for me that's why it's not held in the same regard. It's because the final fight gets goofy. The final fight gets fucking goofy.
Gets too raft.
It gets too raft. When Billy Rosewood has a bazooka or a rocket launcher, I'm not really well versed enough to tell the difference, and he's fucking with it. He extends it on his lap, and he's trying to figure it out, and he presses a random button on it. That random button fires a missile, or a rocket or whatever. The rocket goes straight forward into the back of a truck that's running away with more bad guys in it and blows them all up. It's that type of shit. You know what I mean? It's like Jar Jar with the all the Goonga balls going down the, you know what I mean? Like it's that type of shit.
Goofy.
And exactly. But my kids loved it.
That's good.
My baby loves Rosewood. She's like, what a nice guy. He's a nice guy.
No, who plays you have to
Judge
Reinhold.
Yeah.
Great character actor.
Yeah. And and then all the shit that Eddie Murphy does in this fucking that dude was just on fucking fire.
He was on fucking cocaine too.
Yeah, I hope so.
That helps.
It does.
But that the whole fucking Johnny Wishbone shit when he's he walks in. I'm just gonna play it real quick because the chief walks in and Axel's there and the chief doesn't know who he is and Axel's he's like who the fuck is this, and he's like I am Johnny Wishbone, a psychic from Island of St. Croix. Yes, I'm a psychic. And he starts going into his own bullshit. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna find it. It's only like a minute. And it's worth it. Here we go. And it's going to be an ad probably. So in about 15 seconds, can I fill it with more bullshit?
I got YouTube Premium because I got Google Fi now for 6 months. But I'm definitely not paying for it.
All right, here we go.
Oh, I'm definitely paying for it.
When it's up, I'm canceling.
What the hell's going on here? Who the hell are you?
Chief, this is...
Shut up, Rosewood! My name is Johnny Wishbone. Johnny Wishbone, and I'm a psychic from the island of St. Croix. Yes, I'm a psychic from the island of St. Croix, and I read in the St. Croix Gazette that the Beverly Hills Police Department having some trouble figuring out crimes. So what I did was come to Beverly Hills to help the police out. They tell me they don't want my help. They don't need my help, so I'm gonna go on my merry way. I'm a psychic. I'm a psychic phenomenon. Watch this. I don't know who you are, but watch this. Your name is Lutz, right? Chief Lutz, that's your name, see? The name pop inside my head like that. And your name is, Riddle, yes, see? You give 2 more seconds, I would say to myself, I don't need no help from no one because I'm Johnny Wishbone, psychic extraordinaire. If you need me, just think Johnny Wishbone and I come running. Lutz and Biddle. It's like kibbles and bits, but different. Excuse me. Sorry to bother you. Your name is Johnson, right? What the hell is going on here? What is it?
That's funny.
You know, like there's little like things that he does, like the little like bullshit acts that he does are like they're so fucking
And that's
good. Man.
I mean, knowing how coming from Saturday Night Live, that was probably like they probably did 20 takes of that.
Right.
Just him doing just crazy
Random
bullshit.
shit.
Like,
Yeah.
you can't say that.
He was so in his bag, you know.
Yeah. And I love the guy across the table that's like, oh my God, I can't believe this motherfucker's doing this right now.
And I think that's it for my nerd weeks. No, I went to Boar Bash.
Oh yes, that's right.
It's a big party that a buddy of mine has once a year. He lives like on the water in Middle River. It's like it's a nice spot, but it's also like right behind these like a rough neighborhood. Like I mean, I literally like across the street.
Street matters sometimes.
Yeah. But I have a blast every time I go out there, like an absolute fucking blast, and I get to hang with people that I rarely get to hang with in a like regularly together
Without a mop in your hand.
without a mop in my hand, and and I just look forward to it so much, and I had an absolute blast. My kids had a blast. There's like a whole like tradition of shit that happens there now. So like one time, the first time that we were there was a bowl full of triangular shaped chips with an orange dusting on top.
I'm familiar.
What would you think they were?
I would normally call them Doritos.
I would too, especially because there was a bag behind it that said Doritos on the bag that was unopened.
You got duped, didn't you?
So Jaina put a big heaping scoop on her plate because she loves a Dorito. And she sat down and she was like, these aren't Doritos. I was like,
Are they Utz tortilla nachos?
Of course they're Doritos.
Doritos right there.
And she was like, I'm telling you, these are not Doritos. Try one. And I tried one. I was like, oh, these ain't Doritos. Like, it's instantly recognizable that these ain't Doritos. So she walks back and she goes to the person, like the person that owns my buddy Boar, but his wife, and points to the Dorito bag. He's like, you mind if I open these? And she's like, well, as soon as these other ones are gone. So Jane's like, oh, okay. So there's like a little thing that like you clip the chips with to put on your plate. So anybody that like steps up, Jane is like, chips, and like giving them like get rid of them, heaping portion of chips on their plate, and like and so anyway, then she got to open her chips and have the Doritos. So this story got around, right? And then the next year, like my buddy DJ, he brought like a bag of Doritos for Jaina specifically, only for Jaina.
I was going to say, I didn't know what to get her for her birthday.
And now every year he brings her like Doritos to this thing. But there's like all these little
That's funny.
these things now, and they're cool. And it's like a lot of us, you know, we mop together, so we don't get to see each other's wives and kids and all that shit. And it's fucking good, and it fucking warms my soul.
It's wholesome.
Yeah,
That's good. Real quick, before we get into notes and questions, did you guys know that Kevin Spacey lives in Baltimore?
I knew he lived in Maryland. I didn't know. I thought he lived near Annapolis.
So he did an interview with Piers Morgan.
That's in our notes. So please, I haven't watched it. Have you watched it?
I watched.
Is he still around?
I watched a 2-minute clip of it on TikTok.
I thought
basically he says something along the lines that he's broke. He has I googled it. He has a 6,000 square foot. I guess it's like a townhouse that overlooks the Inner Harbor.
Oh, really?
A beautiful home. But
Wow.
I'm assuming that he hasn't worked since he got canceled, and
Because
he was in tears in the video.
Yeah, so I actually have the video clip handy. Shout out to Maryland Phil. Let me see if I can get it to play. You know how sometimes these websites can bloody be.
I'll see if I can find it on
he could always sell the house and downsize.
live now?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you asked that question because this week where I have been living in Baltimore, is being foreclosed on. My house is being sold at auction.
Really?
So I have to go back to Baltimore and put all my things in storage.
Really?
So the answer to that question is, I'm not quite sure where I'm going to live now, but I've been in Baltimore for since we started shooting House of Cards there.
So how long was that?
I moved there in 2012.
So this has been your home for 12 years?
Well, not this particular place, but this place has been my home and Evan and Lucy's home since 2016.
Why is it being foreclosed?
Because I can't pay the bills that I owe.
Are you facing bankruptcy?
Been a couple of times when I thought I was going to file, but we've managed to sort of dodge it, at least as of today.
How much money do you have?
None.
Really?
Well, I mean, you have some sense of legal bills.
Yeah.
I still owe a lot of legal bills that
You're
I have not been able to pay.
You're actually in debt.
Yes.
Do you mind me asking how much you owe?
He doesn't know.
It's considerable.
Millions?
Many millions, yes. The house itself is many millions.
What are you going to do?
Get back on the horse.
You're talking about heroin.
Get back on the horse.
He's talking about some dude.
So I just Googled it because I wanted to review in my head, like what I knew he did some heinous things, but like 20 people that work, he was some sort of director at some theater in London, and 20 men came forward and said he had assaulted or attempted to assault them. But saying that to say, this article I just read, his house was supposed to go up for auction this week. Mm-hmm. It didn't. It got bumped. So if we can come up with $390,000, that's what you have to pay.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think
That's not that much. That's less money on our house.
That's what I spent for my house.
Yeah,
390.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Wow,
I spent $500 on the same house.
I'm right between you two from what I paid, but nonetheless,
I don't have any sympathy.
No, I don't either. I have no sympathy whatsoever.
Like you're broke because of.
Here's my question though: like, you're broke. You're obviously not working. Mm-hmm. You can't work in the field that you have a career in because of what you've done. Are there not? Do you think there's things written in contracts for, like, I figured like every time that Seven gets played somewhere, he should get a nickel
royalty or something?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't contracts that
I think sometimes people have royalties. I'm not sure that I would think for him it would have been House of Cards. Like that's kind of the thing that kind of.
I'm just wondering if there's like morality clauses in contracts.
But in general, he's made more money in his life than a lot of people will see in their entire lives.
Oh, no doubt.
So like, but if you have no money at this point, you've spent it.
And
whatever.
The reality of it is you're used to living a certain lifestyle, and you
could sell your millions of dollars house and buy a $200,000 house.
Not if you're selling it for $390.
Well, no, that's the deposit due at purchase. If you win the auction, you have to pay that much a day.
You could have sold your shit, downsized to a $200,000 big ass house in Georgia, and then just eat at Waffle House
or a $100,000 house in Alabama.
You could retire millions of dollars that you had.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, part of it, he said, I don't know if it said it in that clip. It's legal. He owes legal bills. But look, at the end of the day,
that's on him.
It's you file bankruptcy. Who fucking? I just do it. Just wipe the debt, and then 7 years later, move on with your life.
Yeah, it was also some bullshit. But
I
will say this: I don't have sympathy for him either.
Yeah.
Like it's whatever. But like I don't know if you guys were here when I talked about it, but I did watch that documentary, or I tried to watch that documentary on HBO
of him,
of all of his victims.
I didn't even know that came out.
Same.
Are you doubting some of it, or
no?
Is it just,
I believe it.
Is it the subject matter that you didn't stomach well?
I hate the position that I find myself in.
That's what she said
all the time. Okay. So let me say this. Do you remember when Dave Chappelle did a stand-up? And on that stand-up, he was talking about Louis C.K.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Louis C.K. was like jerking off
in front of people. Yeah.
Yes, but he talked specifically about the one case where he was jerking off over the phone.
Oh. Uh-huh.
And he was like, if you are a person that couldn't hang up and just needed to stay on the phone and be offended, show business may not be for you. That's kind of how I felt about these dudes that he was
Fondling.
what do they call it? Like predatorizing?
Yeah. Grooming, maybe. Is it grooming?
They're all like jacked military dudes. He had a type.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm a dinosaur. But let me tell you something. If Kevin Spacey would have put his hand on my leg, I'm knocking Kevin Spacey the fuck out. And I'm moving on with my day.
Depends on how
and
much.
I'm going to talk about it right here, and I'm going to have a laugh.
Yeah.
Now, if Kevin Spacey is like, hey, you want Nerd Rage to be a movie? You better let my hand stay right here. I'm going to be honest with you.
Quid pro quo.
As a man, I am going to ask myself, how bad do I want Nerd Rage to be a movie?
You know, the taste will wash out of your mouth.
And then I'm going to be accountable for my actions, right?
Yeah.
And let me say this also. I don't put women in that same thing. I don't hold women to that same standard. I hold them to a different standard. I personally think that women should be protected, that they should be like this. And I know that may be archaic way of thinking too. I'm just being honest.
Yes.
But I just had a hard time. I don't sympathize with Kevin Spacey at all for his funny. You know, you do the crime, you do the time. You know, whatever. I get it. Like you're paying your penance.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not going to lose.
Some people go to jail.
Of all the things I lose sleep over, which is a lot, Kevin Spacey is not going to be one of them.
Yeah.
However, I do not feel a bit of sympathy for a lot of these dudes either, because I think at any point in time, any of these dudes that I saw in this interview, if they were like, "Hey, Bobby, you get to bet your entire life savings that either Kevin Spacey wins that physical altercation between those two, or this other dude wins that. Can I double it? Can I take out a loan and triple it?
Yeah.
On this other dude.
Well, I think it's not a physical.
No, but some of them are like, I was frozen.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's not always a physical altercation. It's a psychological altercation, power dynamics, and not just being freezing and not knowing what to do.
I'm sure he had
I hear you.
He had an MO that worked. You know, whatever he was saying.
We don't hold this power dynamics to the same standards either with men and women as a society.
Yeah,
which
it's true. But I'm saying, like,
but it's just like, dude, like these people were trained for combat.
yeah.
In my mind, there's not a.
But they weren't trained for Kevin Spacey to put his hand on your leg.
Not for old K-man.
Cold K-Pax.
Yeah, man.
You know, and I'm not trying to belittle the victim. I'm not any of that shit. I'm just saying that, like, I feel like I'm on another planet sometimes where I'm watching something like that and everybody's like sniffling, you know, and like, Kevin the Predator, Kevin Spacey. He's like 120 pounds. Kevin Spacey's just so dangerous. And I'm like, you have all the muscle Cable should have had.
The 15 pounds extra.
Plus the 15 pounds extra on top of the 15 pounds extra that he should have had to the 15 pounds. Like,
Well, he has 5'10".
You know, I'm just like, I sometimes I'm like, and I get it. He shouldn't act that way.
Yeah.
100%.
No, he's wrong.
He's wrong. Yeah. He's wrong.
And he's got what his just deserves.
He got what he deserves.
Yeah.
Right?
Was it creme brulee?
But I'm not like
Crispy bits.
I just have a hard time feeling sympathy for the other people either. That shouldn't have happened to them. You know, but it's like, dude, are you really that traumatized? Are you? Answer, because I have never met a man in my life that would be like, that would say that I can fathom that. Right? Like, if I feel like if you were at work, Joey, and some dude put his hand on your thigh or whipped his penis out and put your hand on his thigh, that you would be like, oh, I can't even walk in that building anymore. I'm just all shooken up.
Oh, no, that's be physical altercation.
Exactly. You know, it's like and take the sexual part out of it. If a random man just grabs me,
Yeah, that's-
what the fuck are you doing? Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
You better leave me the fuck alone. Except nowadays, everybody got a fucking pistol on them because, you know what I mean? But aside from that, it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know what world we're living in. It's just not the world that I know. You know, and it's not like, and if it was some dude that looked like a, you know, this dude is not, because Kevin had a type.
Okay, what if you were in a situation and it was Gary Oldman?
Oh, you know I'm giving it up.
Hey, different rules.
I just put my head right on his shoulder.
I feel that way about Vin Diesel. We could nuzzle our bald heads together.
You know, Gary Oldman's my man crush. You know, but I don't know. I'm sorry. And I don't want to be offensive to anybody. I feel like this whole episode I'm offending everybody, and I don't mean to be. But I get, if you want my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you give me your honest opinion.
It's my honest opinion.
Yeah.
I just, you know, like, and they had some dude, like you take like a young Will.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he's getting ready. He's headed to the reserves. He's bam, 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 bam. He's going to come back and be fucking mowing them down, I'm sure. But you take him a couple years ago, smaller frame, you know, more timid person, you know, and you put him in that scenario. Now it's fucked up.
Yes.
Now it's fucked up because it's a bully now. You're being a bully. But every one of Kev's victims could beat the shit out of Kev. The dog shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that doesn't make it right.
Right.
It just changes how I view them.
You're looking at both sides separately.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. That's the perfect way to put it.
Good people.
Both sides. Or bad people, both sides.
I can see.
Or good people on one side and bad people on the other side.
I'm not sure which side is which side.
But it doesn't mean that I have to feel like sorry for you. You know what I mean? Just brush that motherfucking hand off. No. Kev, you touch my leg again, I'm going to fuck you up. Because that one guy said, like, Kevin, I'm straight. And you know what Kevin said? Even better.
And that's why you don't feel bad for him for being broke.
Yeah, same. Yeah. You know? All right. So I'm sorry. I feel like I offended everybody this episode. I'm so sorry. The cantina. I'm also operating on a little bit of sleep. I'm going to use that as an excuse. The cantina from HasLab. It ended up being a Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
I remember Yak Face.
So the G.I. Joes come in at SDCC.
Yes, I'd heard that
It's
too.
rumored to be the Rattler.
Okay.
Which
that
I'm
makes sense.
Super excited for.
A10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to have to buy this piece of shit.
That's how they get you.
And I hate that about myself.
You have to vote with your
Do
wallet.
you need the figures? Is it the figures?
Those Tonica sisters. See, and I don't think they'll ever see the light of day because I don't think they have the right to the likeness to sell. They're selling the cantina and including them as a bonus.
Yeah.
So the good thing about it is you'll have no problem moving it.
You think so?
Dude, the secondary market on this stuff's always good. I mean, I'm not going to say if you order two, you can pay for both of them with one, but you can sure as hell make it a lot more comfortable on you. And that's what I've done with every HasLab that comes out. I'm not going to do the Star Wars just because I don't want to have to deal with Star Wars people.
Yeah, I hear you.
But like the G.I. Joe stuff, Transformers stuff, yeah, I'm buying two of everything and just I'll sell the second one in the aftermarket and recover some of the cost of the first one. So, but even without the figures, people will want it.
I just need that. I just need the Star Horse.
Well, there's a whole lot of unlocks. I don't know if they're going to get there or not. Brian Brink, of course, has a spreadsheet.
There's a whole lot. What?
There's a lot of stretch goals. I'm sorry if I didn't say that right.
Yes. But they're not a stretch goal.
Oh, they're not. So
no.
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, they're included.
If it was Black Series scale, I might be a little more peaked.
Well, if it was Black Series scale and they were Tonica sisters, I'd
right,
say,
but just the playset in general.
Yeah. So once again, like this is how I find it's why I don't get trapped into a lot of the HasLab stuff for Star Wars, G.I. Joe, etc. Because all that stuff for me comes down more so to character than But like it's just those two. I've been talking about those two. They've been like my fangry. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, now I got to like put up or shut up.
Or Doink the Clown.
Or Doink the Clown. But I didn't go in on that, to be fair, so maybe I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Maybe I would go for Kev. All right. Then we have Adobe. Adobe's doing some shit.
I fucked around with it. You talking about the 3D stuff?
People aren't happy with Adobe spyware.
Oh, I don't know about that. So, go ahead.
Adobe finds itself under fire for its recent spyware-esque terms of service update, which forces Photoshop and Substance 3D users to provide the company unlimited access to their projects. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
That's why you want open source free things.
I'm not. Do they? So I use I pay to use the Adobe Suite.
You pay for them to have your stuff.
You know what?
That's what's fucked up about it.
Yeah, you're paying for it. So for them to take your shit.
So Michael's, and I might have this wrong, but I'm pretty sure Michael started an Etsy-esque program, and part of the terms of service was we can use any design you use. If you sell it, we can.
Yeah, it's fucking predatory.
And they clarify we may access your content through both automated and manual efforts, such as for content review.
Yeah.
to deem whether or not what you're doing is appropriate.
And you know what? They're running us through their AI for sure.
Well, turn on your airplane mode when you're using their stuff if it's a concern, and then save
use
it
equivalent third-party software.
There's tons of good stuff out there. There is outside
use
of
Procreate
that.
instead of Photoshop. Use fucking Blender instead of whatever 3D shit they have.
Well,
you don't have to. You can use Marmoset tools instead of Substance Painter. I mean, I guess it's
ways
for people
around
who are in the know about computers, right? You have
Yeah.
to look into it. It's
Sure.
part of your responsibility to look into it if you worry about it, right? But if you are buying into their shit like any other fucking brand, it's part of your responsibility.
Look,
right?
if they want to take
feeding
my
into it,
if they want to take my Crashbox logos and use them in some form or fashion that is from a template kit that I ordered off the internet, anyways, have at it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything proprietary.
But it's not just about you, though. Is the thing.
Oh,
It's
I
about,
understand,
It's about the
but-
greater whole of the concept itself.
But I'm talking about my experience, Joey.
Your truth.
My
truth.
My truth.
Yeah, it seems look, man, I don't want you to have access to shit. I don't want anybody to have access to
That's why I don't like subscription software either.
Yeah, so that's Adobe lost me. I love Photoshop. I adore it.
Yeah.
But I will not do a subscription based service to it. Like, you look at what Procreate did, man.
$20.
It's less than $30. Just less than $20.
It's like $10.
It's like $13. One time purchase.
And it does
you're
everything.
Done.
And it does. And you get all the updates too.
Yeah, it's insane.
For basically, you can get done just about everything you can do in Photoshop.
It's diet Photoshop.
It's not even that diet though.
It is, because Photoshop can do a lot. Photoshop can do a lot.
I mean, if you know Procreate, you can do a lot on Procreate.
Yeah, but it's not as easy.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But like you,
But you have to do- but you have
it's
to know how to
$13
use-
that you own forever.
Do you not have to? You have to know how to use Photoshop. Photoshop is not intuitive, and like I have not been able to get my head around Illustrator. Like I just have never been able to do it. It's one of those things where I'll watch a tutorial, I'll do the tutorial, I'll do what I need to do. 3 months later, I don't remember how to fucking do it. I'll have to do the tutorial again.
So the thing is, you can get a crack version of Adobe stuff and pirate. Because look, what I say, if purchasing isn't ownership, then piracy isn't theft.
That's fair. That's a
Like
good
if
way
you
to put
can't
that.
buy that shit, if you're paying for it and it isn't yours, then stealing it isn't fucking stealing.
Send me an eye patch.
And then our last note is the comic historian. You familiar?
I'm not. I'm going to
so-
assume it's a comic book historian.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Marvel Explained? That guy. It'll be like Thanos Explained.
Yeah,
This
I
one
know, and there's people who do that.
he has a beautiful voice. The Marvel Explained guy. Like top 5 voices of all
Don't you
time.
hate it when like you watch a channel for the content, but you enjoy the presenter, and it's like for some reason it's somebody else that week? You're like, no, I'm gonna skip this one.
So anyway,
That's how I feel about podcasts sometimes.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When you're like,
I mean, back to be fair, like back when I
that's
listened to
true.
Shattercast when you weren't on, I was much less likely to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some wrestling stuff I listen to, and if a certain person isn't on that week, I'm like, nah.
I have this one comment
good.
that was on Shattercast, like still saved on my phone, because it was like, no Bobby this week and twice the so-and-so. No thanks. See you next week. Anyway, Ben Potter, who was the comic historian, dies at 40 in what his wife describes as an unfortunate accident. Don't know what that means. But he had a massive following on YouTube, did great work of breaking down comics and stories and retelling
I've probably
them.
watched something of his and not even realized it.
Probably.
He was on a podcast for the longest time. I don't know if they had a falling out, but he was on a podcast for the longest time called The Weekly Pull. Which covered like comics and news and all that kind of stuff. And it was fantastic because those guys are like, they're like savants with comic book history and knowledge.
Like
they were
real
great.
comic fans.
Yeah, they were great. So rest in peace to him and thoughts and prayers
40.
to his family, friends, and fans. Unless their fan is Kevin Spacey, in which case he's still a bad guy. Still a bad guy.
Bobby, is it time?
It is time. I'll tell you where they can find questions, Christopher. I feel like that's where you're headed, and you're right.
You can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
So our first question is from Ryan C. And
Ryan C. Chris?
Yes, it is. No, it's
The new host of Wheel of Fortune?
Ryan C. is the guy that we spoke about last week or a week about
Piggly Wiggly socks.
Yes, he was
Yes.
a gentleman that
Yeah.
drove from far Michigan.
Wild.
Yeah, and only stayed for an hour and a half, which I felt
this
bad
is crazy.
about. So he he wrote a story. He said, Skull says, first things first, shout out to Bobby and his fabulous, amazing, incredible wife, Laura, and their girls are putting up with us.
For an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was no problem. And hosting
like we weren't
us
even here.
and everyone that brought stuff. Eric B. thought I wouldn't have to see Fago outside Michigan. I did have a great time meeting a bunch of my favorite personal celebrities. It was great. For the record, no photo or tour or picture does justice to the total work of art that is the collection in your house. So he wrote this whole thing about the socks and the 14-hour drive, and I don't know if he wants that spoken about here.
Oh, or if it's just a private.
If it was private
experience.
information. So I'm going to err on the side of caution that it was private information and leave that as it is. We'll get to the question comments. Chris and Joe.
Yo,
what 3D design software do you use?
Blender.
And if it's Blender, how do you teach yourself? I use
Make a donut.
I use Tinkercard, which is
Tinkercad.
Tinkercad.
That's what I use.
Which is slow and very limiting. And I'm looking for a new program or site to use.
So it depends on what. Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
I can't speak well enough of Blender. It's free. It's so free that I gave them $50 because I felt bad for using it for free. They up to I need to update. They're up to version 4.2 now, I believe, still for free. Right, and you can do fucking everything on it. It's amazing. You need a little bit beefier computer. The more powerful computer, the better it is.
Right.
You don't teach yourself Blender. It's extremely technical program. You need to just Google make a donut on Blender. It will show up immediately on the playlist. This guy who teaches a course, every time a new version of Blender comes out, he will teach you how to make a donut on that Blender. And by the end of making that donut, following along in a classroom fashion, you make this donut with him, you will know Blender pretty fucking well. And anything after that, you will know enough what to look for to learn.
So I have Blender on my computer, and I haven't taken the time to do that.
Yeah, that's all you need to do. Look for the donut.
I use Tinkercad. So I showed you guys my container today. The front back cap and the bars are all done in Tinkercad. Got another project that I'm working on that is pretty much all going to be done in Tinkercad. It is limiting, you can't what do they chamfer the edges, or there's none of that in there. It's shapes. You manipulate shapes. They have a huge catalog of stuff. Its big brother is called Fusion 360, and you can do. Yeah, I mean, if you know your way around Fusion, you can do anything in Fusion.
And one more thing. Depends on what you want to do. If you're talking about characters, right? So there's a paid program which is really good for sculpting, but don't worry about it. Just use Blender for free. But it's like more organic shapes, not just like boxes and cylinders trying to put together.
Right. Yeah.
Make the donut first to teach yourself the technical aspect, and then to learn to sculpt, go to a person called Speedchar, SPEEDCHAR, like Speed Character, basically, Speedchar on YouTube. He teaches sculpting for free, and he weekly goes on there sculpting live for a couple hours to demonstrate, and they're all on his VOD, basically. Just go on YouTube and just follow along with this guy. And if you've seen any of my sculpt work, it's from learning from him. And
That's
also
great.
like basic anatomy and stuff. Like you have to have some kind of base knowledge of the art that you're looking for.
If our guy's using Tinkercad, I don't think he's trying. Hopefully, you're not trying to do character design in there because it'd be very hard because you can't pull anything. It's just shapes. You look around you, everything in this room is shapes, right? Circles, squares, right? Triangles manipulated in different forms.
Yep.
I mean, even character sculpting, it's still that same.
There
you're going to start out with a
do
shape.
it that way. They will like shape each individual muscle and then fuse it together into an arm.
Yeah, I mean, there's a million different ways to skin a cat, but that's kind of where me and Joey are at with it.
Then he said, Bobby, thanks for dropping a line on Patreon to check in. Really does mean a lot right now, more than you may know. So I did hit him up like, hey man, you good? Like I know you left quickly, and I just want to say, like in his long part of the email, which I'm not going to read, he did say like that he's embarrassed about it and all that. Like I want to stress to him, like don't be.
Why?
No,
dude.
like I was worried that we had done something to offend or rub y'all the wrong way, or we didn't host y'all well, and you felt
There was an emergency,
or y'all like I felt
hospital
left out or something like that. Like I've been mulling it over in my brain. Like did we fuck something up?
Yeah, because usually you don't drive 10 hours to stay at what place for less than you've drove for.
Yeah, so please don't feel embarrassed about it at all. That was no part of my situation. Mine was all about like just the concern that you were having a good time. And then he says, now for a Jerry Springer style final thoughts. Guys, don't keep shit like that bottled up. Find a counselor or therapist. Talk to each other. If you're uncomfortable now, think about how much worse it would be in 20 years. And I'm not ashamed to tell you that there's been a lot of crying like a baby. Take care of yourself and those that you love. It will make your life better. And with that said, thick thighs. And thick thighs save lives.
Well, hope to meet you next time, Ryan.
This is our therapy. I talk about
Me too.
when I have issues. I talk about all my issues here, man.
Yeah.
We talk about everything here.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
I'm very thankful for this fucking for these guys.
You should have a healthy outlet.
You should look for two guys and a set of microphones.
Two bald guys in a basement.
He also wrote back, he said, forgot to throw a thank you to Robert D for pulling off without actual direction what I couldn't at the time. Much love for that. And like I said, I'm not 100% sure on that. But okay. But it might be in that email that I will read after this.
Yeah, we'll all read it.
Trey 5. He writes in, hey, great nerds and wizards.
Just one wizard. I believe I'm the only wizard at this table. Are you a wizard?
No. You won't hear me say that.
Are you a wizard?
I'm a mage.
Are you from Alabama? Are you a wizard?
You know,
You can't call me that in Alabama. I didn't earn that title.
Thank God. Great nerds and wizards, geeks and freaks. It's about to be summer out this piece. And from what it sounds like, we all work hard. Pause or ayo for those who aren't up on the New York slang. I was wondering, especially for the people who still have young families, when preparing for the summer, what plans are actually made versus what plans come to fruition? And for the parents with budding young adults, how do you parent handle the children who have plans outside the family dynamic?
I'll tell you, we are struggling to find, like, we want to take a family vacation and we cannot get anybody to agree on anything. Like,
I mean, everyone has
some
different
people
interests
want
now.
to-
Y'all
that's
grown
the
and
thing.
shit.
Like, you know, and Mason's 22. He's off this weekend with his sister and his girlfriend in DC doing it.
I feel like you're never too young or too old for a water park, though.
That's one thing we've been thinking about.
Like, nobody's too young or old for that, unless you don't like
Great
to get
Wolf
wet
Lodge.
like this
We've been
guy.
talking about the Great
Bobby
Wolf
hates a
Lodge.
wet.
I don't like public bodies of water. Sorry.
Fair enough.
I don't want that water that was in your ass cheeks brushing up against my lips. No, thank you. Not the way some of you motherfuckers live.
Yeah.
Anyway, I with us, it's all about like activities and shit, and I think that we overdo it personally. But
Like you do with most things, Bobby.
yeah, but that's not me this time. Like I'm okay. I think okay for one to each do one thing. But like Jaina works, so that's a big part of it. They also go on a vacation with their grandmother, so that's a part of it. Selena is doing a softball camp and doing private softball lessons.
Oh, Jesus.
But I'm cool with that because she is progressing at an insane rate that's extremely fun to watch and rewarding in its own right. And it also has given her and I something, you know, which we have never had, her and I, which I do appreciate, because her and I have always kind of been at odds with one another. We just never clicked.
Yeah.
Not in the same way that my other two have clicked with me, you know. So now her and I have like this thing.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it is. And then the baby is fucking doing singing lessons and fucking dancing lessons and all this shit. And I'm in support of that, and drama lessons, because she's also playing soccer, which I'm kind of like, because like she's not necessarily naturally showing any gifted signs there.
Sports, yeah. Or that particular sport, at least.
Yeah. But she is a natural performer.
Yes, for sure.
You know, so
the
like
singing,
I'm
dancing,
all
and
about
drama.
supporting that.
Yeah.
I think my wife and I have two different thoughts about it. My wife is like, what do you want to do? How can I help facilitate it? And mine is like, what do you want to do? Okay, here are your answers. I take those answers. I see which ones I think that I'm willing to support with my money.
Yes.
And time.
And then I send them back to you. And it will never be nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you give me a list, you'll never get nothing in return. But if you send me 5 things, I might pick 3.
Yeah.
You know, or I might pick 1.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do the
You
fuck
get
out of that
something.
one.
Yeah.
You know, and then I think the whole family is not going on vacation, but we are going to New York in the winter. That my family is. And then my wife and I will have a staycation while they are at the beach, and my niece is visiting next week, which I'm super
cool.
excited about because she's fucking awesome and fun.
I'm sure your mom will love that, right?
No, I'm sure it's not even, because you know my group chat and my family group chat, which is like my niece, my sister, and then my wife and kids, is called the Illuma family because it must remain a secret from my mother.
Not the group chat.
Yeah. So anyway, it should be a blast. That chick is fucking special, and I love her, and I miss her, and I'm looking forward to spending some time with her and playing cards and shit. And she's a chip off the old family block, for better or worse, as time will tell. So with that, shout out to Phil on Twitter in our note. Shout out to Dante on Facebook. Shout out to Ricky Ticky Timber from time to time on our videos. And with that,
Flappy labius.
Tasty tank.
tight dick player.